Hey guys, it's Miharu, and welcome back to SharePlay. We haven't done one of these in a long time.
Oh, I have aged 80 years waiting to do another SharePlay.
This is SharePlay. Oh my god, I can't talk. This is SharePlay number 3.
You're dating an old man now. How do you feel about that?
I'm still older than you.
Fuck.
Hi guys, I've de-aged 80 years, whatever.
I TH. Okay. So, maybe, you would like to tell the audience what we're going to do today.
Okay, so a while back, about 2 years ago, when we went to PowerCon, this awesome He-Man convention, and we met up for the second time after we had first formally met in person when I went to E3 that same year. You showed me Boxart critique from the best friends,
Yes.
Man Woolley, and so as a little nice inspired thing from that, we wanted to go over a couple box arts of our own that we know and love, and just talk about them.
Yep. Yeah, I thought it would be cool, even though, you know, the box art critique was a thing, because, like, they were both art majors, I think, so they kind of had a reason to go over it, and they knew the little artistic things about it.
Yeah.
We are not art majors, but we do know what looks good and what doesn't look good.
Yes.
So, of course, what else are we going to start with but Spyro Boxart? So let's get into it. Alright, first things first. We have the Spyro 1 box art.
Yes. Magnificent already. What are your thoughts on this when you first? What were your first thoughts when you first saw this?
Oh god. Well, that's a question. I think this was one of my first games along with the Xena PS1 game. So, I think I looked at that and I really liked the colors. I think the colors stand out a lot. I like the fact that there was a little purple dragon on there. I was like, oh, he's a cute looking character. And I don't know. I thought it looked cool. And then from here is when I started looking at other box arts and everything that had like an animal character on the front. I was like, yes, I want that. And this was the start of that.
The thing that this screams to me is attitude, which is what they're trying to get across. This was a spunky new character hidden the scene of mascot platformers, and you can just tell. It doesn't give away much of what he can do, but being a dragon, you can already see and predict what he can do, you know? So, the thing that is actually really funny is that I played the game before seeing this artwork because I had the demo on one of my PlayStation Underground demo discs.
Yeah.
So I kind of already had an idea of who Spyro was and what the world was kind of like for what little they showed me before finding out that this even existed. And the one thing I want to say real quick is how I like how you can get a sense of like what the world sort of feels like, but with there being like a lot of fire over here in the bottom here, it is basically in the foreground. It kind of creates, this smoky background, which in theory looks really cool, but it kind of makes stuff a little hard to see. I know the focus is supposed to be on Spyro himself, but it's a little hard to appreciate exactly what's happening in the background, which I think
And the background renders are kind of random. Like, it just looks like... The bowl in particular, like, it looks like it was just, like, placed there. Like, why do you gotta use a bowl? Like...
See, I mean... seeing as the Norks, I mean, you got Nasty Nork, of course, in the background, but seeing as the Norks are, like, the one consistent enemy, there's different variants of them throughout the game. I guess they didn't want too much Norkage, and they wanted more variety in what you're going to be up against. I think the castle in the background, if I'm not mistaken, is something from Artisans. I don't know if it's the one that's right behind you when you first start the game.
I think it might be. I'm not actually sure.
That's what it looks like, but I'd have to double check that. But you'd have to zoom in pretty dang close to really get to look at what Nasty looks like up close, or what the bull
Yeah.
looks like up close. And I think
Which actually brings me to we could take a quick look at the PAL version.
yes, there we go.
Yeah.
Color.
Okay, so yeah, color. Like there's one that's a little more saturated, but you could get a better look at the castle. The bowl is a lot more obscured through the flames,
Yes.
but I think while I really like Spyro being in the middle, I really like him being front and center. I think it's slightly it's better positioning to show off Nasty, probably.
Yeah. I think what they were trying to do is there might have been some kind of critique in the American version where it's like, okay, well, everything looks as symmetrical as you could make it, but with the fact that a lot of the background can't be seen too much, let's try and kind of space out everything. So, like, if you scan left to right, you get the bull, you get Spyro, you get his name and logo, you get the castle, you get Nasty Nork. At the very bottom, you still get the flames. So, like, it still creates a whole piece, but they feel kind of segregated now.
Yeah.
So it makes everything look kind of bigger too. Like the way I guess the castle must have been positioned in the American version made it look more up close. So it looked very more confined, and here it looks more open, which I guess lends to the fact that Spyro is a more open 3D game.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's exactly what they were going for, but that's what it this one seems to kind of convey, which is, I guess, a little more accurate to what Spyro is, and it kind of tries to. I don't know why they obscured the bull in the fire, but
I don't know.
it does try to, I think, expand upon what the American version was trying to do.
Yeah. I think both of them are pretty good because they're very similar. So
Yeah.
should we look at the Reignited one?
Oh, I think so. How do you feel about this?
I like it. The bull looks good. Nasty looks good. Castle looks good. Spyro's render is okay. I don't know why I think his eye looks a little weird.
Here's the thing, okay? I got a little bit of something to say about certain Reignited renders. The eyes look too small. And the
Yeah.
eyebrows are really over accentuated, which is what his eyebrows looked like in the original, but it just looks a little off-putting when the eyes aren't as big as they should be. And you could probably chuck up the bigger eyes on the older PS1 renders to the fact that they're a bit lower poly, even with how good the renders outside of like the in-game models can look, and this is just pure CGI promo art. The PS1 days with those renders looked really, really good, and that's about as good as you can possibly make them look. Here, with this render and this art style, he looks fine. He's the right shade of purple. He's not too leaning one way or another to like an indigo, or too kind of blue purple, or too kind of red purple. But I think it has to do with the eyes, because everything else looks fine.
Yeah.
What I like about this here, though, this recreation, is that it seems they took the best of both worlds and kind of mashed them up. So you get that open space, everything's a bit smaller scale, you can really tell the bull and Nasty are in the background. The castle is just gigantic and kind of leaning, so it's not too straightened out,
Yeah.
not too, kind of just placed
And
there.
Spyro's not too much in the front. Like he's still kind of he's scaled down a bit.
Yeah, he doesn't feel tacked on to the very center, and he's still the focal point, of course, but even he's kind of at a different kind of slight angle, and he just burned the whole fucking artisan's land to the ground because
Yeah.
everything's ablaze now. But it doesn't create a smoky effect, and even the castle being way off in the distance, it looks a bit more faded, but not much so to where it's too distracting or anything like that.
Yeah. It was pretty good.
The depth of field is pretty balanced, I guess.
Of course, I couldn't forget about this one. I almost did. What do you think of the Japanese box art?
Ooh, Ripto the Dragon. Okay, I often forget that this is a thing. It's okay. It kind of does the same thing that the other versions do, but in a much more literal sense. Here he is an artisan. It's also the straight up lying to you. You can't fucking fly or glide in artisans like this.
Yeah, I
anyway.
know. What's with that?
The one thing, this is kind of off to the side, that I thought was such a weird choice and literally goes against what made Spark so great as not just a character but a mechanic, is that he's always green in the Japanese version. That just completely derails
Right.
the color scheme of
Like
the hit point.
you can't
Mechanic.
tell anything. Like, how do you know when you get hit and like how many hit points you have left? I don't get it.
I believe the shade of purple, or purple, I'm looking at Spyro, the shade of green changes, I think, is what it is.
Is it like the light, like the light that's he's giving off? Like, does that fade or something? Because I played the Japanese version, but I don't remember what it was like.
It was either that, I think he is glowing, but then he stops glowing, which is true in the American version too. Like, he's a brilliant glowing gold, and then once he hits blue, he's just not glowing anymore. So I think it's something like that. But I think it's the shade as well, if I remember right. I need to play this just because it's an enigma of region change, like regional version. You know,
Yeah.
it's so weird. But that's besides the point. Like with this, you get a glimpse of, like, not necessarily the villain. Nasty's not in this one, from what I can see here. But you got the
Yeah,
thieves.
just got like a random Nork. And you got an egg thief. I really do like the fact that they put an egg thief there and that you could see like basically the entirety of like the first area of artisans.
Yeah, like they let you know. There's a lot more information conveyed without it feeling too shoehorned in, too cluttered. This is what the land looks like. You got your gems, you got your sheep for fodder, you got your Norks, the enemies you're going to be facing throughout the game. Got your dragons trapped in statue. Got or in crystal. Got your thief, so you're going after the eggs. It encompasses what the whole game's about in just one small little, easy to digest kind of piece.
Yeah. It's pretty good. What do you think about like Spyro's render?
He looks bald. I think his horns are a bit too
He
small.
does. His horns are they're too small, and why do they look like really thin? Like, are they
Yeah.
too thin, or is that just me?
No. It's because they try to cutesy him up, as they did with Crash and all that. Like, oh, he can't look too menacing. He has to look like this bright, cheery little character. But when you kind of start to like shrink his little hair scale things or his horns, he starts to look a little bit bald, as we'll see in some later box arts.
Yeah.
That's about the only. His big eyes are, at least not like the big weird Pac-Man eyes they gave Crash. He looks okay in his Japanese form. I think he looks cute enough.
Yeah. Looks alright. Alright.
Oh,
Spyro 2, Ripto's Rage. Original American box art.
he couldn't stop at artisans. He had to go and torch all of Avalar.
And everything. Just the background is fire. The floor is lava.
All critters must die. The
Is that
floor is
the-
lava.
That was the working title for the game.
Spyro 2, all critters must die. They said, wait,
So-
it's too cruel.
So, I love this box art. I always have.
Yeah.
The colors just work so well together. Like, the purple of Spyro stands out so well amongst the flame background.
Yes.
And the only weird thing about it is that weird Ripto render in the background.
Which
I probably didn't even notice.
you can barely see.
I probably didn't even notice when I was a kid. I don't think I noticed that, but he looks super weird. I don't like that render. It's dumb.
I noticed it as a kid, but I always thought it was like Gulp or Crush,
Yeah, it does look like one of them.
which I think everyone else did too, from what I've heard from some of our friends and stuff. There's a heavy theme of orange color-wise because Ripto's orange, which is probably why he blends so much into the fire. Spyro got his wings out, so you've got the reddish orange in there.
It might be one of the lava lizards actually, because as we'll see, they're in the PAL box art, but it still looks like Ripto.
Well, I think we did end up sometime way later seeing a Ripto render that's kind of like that, if I remember right.
I think they...
It was like an off-model version or render.
Yeah, it was very off-model. I remember that.
Even the subtitle. I mean, Spyro the Dragon. So like the dragon got as a subtitle got nixed pretty fast, and here we have Ripto's Rage, which is in this like yellow to red gradient, which is really cool. So a very fiery theme, if not indicated by the background. So
yeah, and the logo. The logo looks so good.
It's
like,
good.
I have said that we said this when we were at PowerCon. We were actually looking at the box art there, and we were like, I remember we were yelling back and forth. We were just like, "Oh my god, this looks so good!" And then we looked at the PAL one, and then we have opinions. But anyway, just the way it looks, like the circle, the silver-plated 2 in the background, it looks amazing.
It manages to scream at you, this is the sequel, but doing it subtly. It's subtle screaming, because it's there, you can't miss it, but you still kind of could if you didn't pay attention. It's a nice background element. It completes the piece. It doesn't make it feel too empty. I think also if that wasn't there and it was just Spyro's name with the subtitle, there'd be too much negative space in that upper left corner. So it completes the piece. It's not a weird random choice of color for that plated, medallion, whatever it is that the 2 is, but it looks good. It looks really, really good.
Yeah, and Spyro's pose is really cool.
Oh, definitely.
And now we have the PAL.
Okay. You go first.
Oh my god. Okay, so first off, if anyone has ever seen Kedikarus's top worst American box arts, and he put the NTSC Ripto's Rage in that video, and then he began to I don't know if he praised this one, but the thing is he bashed the other one. No. Listen. This box art, I'm sorry, PAL got the short end of the stick here. I do not like this one.
It's quite ugly, if I do say so myself.
Look, Spyro's pose is fine. It's okay. He looks fine. But I don't like the logo. The logo just looks so weird. The 2's just hanging off to the side. The gateway to glimmer in green? Green! Why?
The colors clash. Like I said, you don't have a background element to the logo. You get that weird negative space. There's just piss yellow sky covering the whole upper, portion of the artwork, and especially in that upper right-hand corner. Why is Spyro's tail vibrating really fast left to right? He has a weird blurry trail effect to his tail.
Why is he doing that? It's like they're trying to get across he's running, he's charging.
Or is he gliding?
Or is he gliding? No, because it's his feet are going up. His back legs are going up, so he's
yeah.
Moving.
That render for the lava lizard is disgusting. He looks like fucking Lack Mac from the Rayman fucking cartoon.
That is a horrible render, and that was another thing. It's if you're gonna bash the the stupid Ripto render on the American box art, it's at least it's obscured by the flames. This one, don't bash one when the other is not any better, because this is just as bad, and it's barely obscured by his wing or something. That's about all you get of the obscure. Yeah, it's only obscured by a little by Spyro's wing.
His wing blur. Also, I think this Box art is very confused because what's
Right,
the
what
word I'm
is
looking
going
for?
on? What level are they in?
No, here's the thing. In relation to the logo and its subtitle, Gateway to Glimmer, but let's show you Skelos Badlands. That makes zero sense to me. Why would you fucking do that? What, for variety's sake? Because we talked about the composition of the logo. The subtitle Gateway to Glimmer makes zero sense.
It makes no sense.
I know it's the first level you go to and where you start the game, but it's merely the first level. That's like if fucking Crash 2 was called Crash Bandicoot 2, stuck in Turtle Woods or some shit.
Stuck
like
in
that,
Turtle Woods. That'd be
that
great.
doesn't. And then they show fucking like the jetpack state. Like it makes no sense. Like what were they thinking? I hate to go all AVGN, but it's like what were they
What were
thinking?
they thinking? I know, it doesn't make any sense. Like, people have said it should be called Gateway to Avalar, which would be slightly better, but then again, it wouldn't have alliteration. I think what
Exactly.
they were doing was they were trying to go for alliteration, just like Ripto's Rage, but Ripto's Rage is a better title.
Exactly. Also, they could not have picked a worse way to portray, for that matter, Skills Badlands. It's just a bunch of blurry mountains.
It's just mountains. That I don't even think, like, is
Like, not
this
the cool
even
skull head,
Skelos
or
Badlands?
if there's a lava lizard, it has to be. Does the in-game Skills Badlands have like a piss-ass sky?
I don't remember. It might.
I like the way they framed it on the main menu in game when you're first selecting your save file and shit, because like you get a sense of this is Skelos Badlands. Here's the big animal skull head that you can travel through, and it's a tunnel into the little cave. How come they couldn't portray that on this box art or something if they were going to use the Badlands as the go-to backdrop for this box art?
Mm-hmm. Oh no,
It just seems
it's a mess.
yeah, it just seems very confused. The color choice for that logo is very fucking questionable. Spyro's render is fine. The lava lizards is pretty crap. You just get this jumbled mess of a background. I don't see how you can say that this is good and the other one is, and the American one's like terrible or anything like that.
Oh no. Yeah, I mean, if anything, say both of them are bad. That would be better.
I guess.
You either say the American one is good and this one is bad, or you say they're both bad. You don't say it the other way around. Okay. Reignited.
Oh baby, it's good.
It looks really good. I think of all the the three box arts that were updated for Reignited, this is the best one. This one came out the best.
I think so.
Because everything is just updated beautifully. Like even Spyro with his weird small eyes, like his render looks great, looks fine. I kind of like how there's more grass.
Yes.
The flames look good. Ripto looks a hell of a lot better. He actually looks like himself.
I think that's the thing that Twister Bob were looking at when they were going back to the older artwork, is that they had to discern that was Ripto. They had to go, oh, you can barely see him. And so they found a really nice way to just blend. He doesn't look, versus the original where he kind of does, look like he was just kind of, they set the opacity to like 20. No, they found a way to kind of weave him into the fiery design of the background.
Yeah, he's like in the fire. Like he's part of the fire.
This is some fucking serious black goblet of fire shit going
I
on
know,
in the
I was
background.
just gonna say that. I was like, it's like freaking Spyro's talking to him in like Harry Potter.
in the little the fireplace. Yeah, the Spyro's logo for the Reignited, redone, little reimagining of the logo works fine. Looks nice. You can see. Actually, is there a gradient on this one? Because it kind of has like that more like reddish purple It's not really
Yeah.
red purple, is it? But that lighter shade of purple, then it kind of weaves down into like that almost indigo, like classic Spyro color.
Hmm.
Is that just me, or like, was that intentional?
I don't know. I don't know if there's a gradient on that.
From here, it looks like it, but maybe not. I'm probably just seeing things.
Maybe you could probably like zoom in and see if it is.
But everything looks pretty good. Did they? Was that silver outlining of Ripto's Rage there in the original? I think it was black, wasn't it?
Um.
It was.
Well, wait. What was black?
The outlining of the letters for Ripto's Rage.
Oh yeah, the outlining. Yeah, you're right.
That's a kind of a questionable choice because I
That
think
is questionable. I think the black outline actually looks better because you can see the subtitle better.
yeah, it makes it stand out and pop out a bit more. I've learned that the hard way with a bunch of when I make thumbnails. Sometimes if I choose something with silver or any kind of lighter color for the color for the outline of my text, it doesn't from a further distance. It doesn't really pop the way darker colors or just straight up black the way those do. So it makes it a little tougher to discern what it says from a further distance. I mean, from this comparison image we're looking at right now, both of them are kind of weird from that small of a size or that far of a distance. But I think you'd be able to see a little bit better with the original than you probably
Yeah.
could with Reignited.
Yeah, I'd say so too.
But that
Also-
too was kept like the exact same though.
Also, let's point out one of the best things about the original American box art is there was a holographic version.
Oh yeah.
I actually have that one. It's awesome.
Nice. I don't have any of the holographic Spyros, just the Crash ones. That's pretty cool.
And of course, take a look at the Japanese one.
Oh Lord.
What the hell is going on with anything?
Oh boy. So this is the traditional Japanese thing where they like to just throw a bunch of stuff at you and go, "Here it is. Here's everything." There's a lot more going on here than in the Japanese Spyro 1 artwork.
Why is Hunter aiming at Alora's head?
He's
He's gonna take her out.
Nefarious plot to fucking murder her. But again, you do get a sense of everything that you've got going on here. You've got some. What the hell is that tiki thing in the bottom right there?
You mean the thing with like the gem thing on its head?
The red tiki. Is that supposed to be like from Idle Springs?
Maybe? No.
Because I can see what they're doing. It's like, okay, well, in the bottom right, you have like a couple.
It looks like one of the statues from like Colossus.
You know what? Maybe. Because there's a Colossus guy, I think, right next to it. So, like, they're trying to show, here's the different guys you have to help out. Here are the different locations.
Oh, no, you were talking about the big Idle Springs okay, the red thing. Yeah, I was looking at the actual statue from Colossus there.
Yeah, no, yeah. You got the orb, Zoe, Hunter, Laura, Moneybags being a greedy little bitch in the background. Avalar, I think, is in the background, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Look cartoony as hell.
Question: What is Spyro ET all of a sudden? Because is he pointing towards the camera, but there's a big ass like lens flare going on?
Yeah. Okay. So actually, what he's doing is,
giving the bird.
He's actually those are two fingers. He's actually doing like a peace sign.
Oh, the V sign. Okay. So why is it obscured then?
I don't know, but it also means that Spyro has 5 fingers.
Oh God. I don't know about that.
Like he just has a regular human hand.
That's weird. I'm still trying to get used to him having thumbs and Reignited. Sparks is back and confusing as ever with his colors. What is that in the background? Is that a ship? Is that like a fucking like?
I was gonna bring that up. What is that?
Breeze Harbor ship or something? I'm not really sure.
I don't know. You know what? What the hell? You know what? I'm gonna try to zoom in on this
I was gonna say, can you blow this up real quick so we can take a better look?
as much as I could do. I don't know what that is. Oh no,
Also,
no, that is from Priest Harbor because it's got the wings.
Okay, I was wondering what that was. That's the big yellow thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I was wondering. I was like, what even is that? For
Oh
that matter,
wait, this yellow thing right here.
Yeah.
That's just a gem.
Okay. What? Can you read that subtitle?
Yeah. So it's Ripto. No, it's not. It's Spyro Boxart. So X. I don't know if you actually pronounce the X. It's like Hunter x Hunter. You don't pronounce the X.
Yeah.
Tonnemo Tours. Tonnemo Tours. So it's like Tonnemo. Flying. So tonde, like flying, like it's like I'm like flying through portals, the tours of flying through portals, like let's just say it's something like that. You're flying and stuff.
That's pretty vague. It doesn't exactly scream. That's a very general thing Spyro does in a majority of his games, so I don't know if that was the best title they could have come up with. I thought they would have thought of. I guess it's because you're traveling through different lands to help people, because of the fact that traveling through levels or lands this time around essentially means it's not to do your own thing necessarily. It's because you're helping locals out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing to do with Avalar, which is really weird. Like, you think you'd have Avalar in the title.
Probably, yeah. I do like that it's more, even though it's 2D now, it's more stylized, because you have the little, they try to do their own version of how, I believe, well, no, they did this in the first games, Box Art 2. The first game's Box Art, they just straight up recreated in Japanese off of the American version. And they put the little hair spikies scales, and I think the tail tip as well, and the T for the T, quote unquote. But here they put a little wing on what looks like the O.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. It's pretty cool. It's very unique to this logo.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
The color choice still too though is really weird.
They also put a Spox. They put like a little. Is that like a little dragonfly or like a little? Looks like a little eyeball. I don't know.
I don't know. I was looking at that. I have no idea what that is.
I think it's supposed to be. I think like the elongator, as this is called, is supposed to be like shaped like Sparks, because it's got like little wings and like his big eyeball.
That's what it looks like, which I guess is kind of cute. How do you feel about the colors on this one for this logo? It's still a mishmash of colors.
There are too many. It just
purple, yellow, green, blue, bluish, white, I think.
There are too many colors on the entire box, but like, let's see. Yeah, there's still too many. It's like a weird gradient of purple and green, and then like white, and then yellow. It doesn't really make sense.
It's hard. I think with this one, it's hard to, because Spyro once again is the focal point. But even after your eyes immediately go to Spyro, it's hard to judge where the artwork wants you to look next, because there's so much going around every single corner of him except for right above him, which is just, thankfully, a nice clear blue sky, mind you, not some piss-ass yellow sky. But with at least the UK box art, once you're done looking at Spyro, you can, I guess, look at that ugly render of the lava lizard. That's the only other thing with him besides the blurry background. And as for the American box art, his pose kind of guides you over to the right-hand side, the left-hand side, where you can barely make out Ripto in the background there. Here, everyone is in a position where, you can see them clearly on almost their full-ass model, but, like, who do you go to first? Where your eyes just kind of dart around the screen so you can make sense of how much they've kind of crammed in here.
Yeah. It's too much. It's like...
Yeah, it's a little...
And what's with, like, the effect? It looks like it's kind of, like, zooming in Or is that just
I
me?
guess.
It looks like something's like zooming in.
Well, no, it does, because again, this one is more like he's gliding right at you, so
Yeah.
they're trying to get that like flying, gliding feel, I suppose.
Alright, well, it's not the best. I mean, I kind of like how colorful it is, but at the same time, there are too many colors.
I can understand that.
Alright, Spyro 3, you're the dragon.
Oh boy, there he is, the boy. I just want to say something real quick, and I'm sure you might have. If I didn't say this, you probably would have. Someone at one point, I don't know if it was with Reignited's version or with this version. It could work with either or. If you phase everyone else out of your vision and just look at Spyro, cut him out of this box art and just have him alone. He's in this mid-run pose with his hind paws coming up.
Yeah,
and he's
but
getting
the
ready
weird
to
part,
go.
it looks like he has like these little stubby legs and these weird hands, like his weird arms, like.
He looks like he's got a stocky, short-ass, little tiny body, and he's standing upright. Like a human.
That is what it looks like. It's
looks
very
bipedal.
weird. This render is like, it's very weird the way they did it. But like, I always saw it the way it is supposed to be.
Exactly.
But now, if you do, if you do look at it, just him alone, yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, if you point that out, it's one of those things where like, oh, I see it. Now I can't unsee it. So the render and the pose itself is still really cool. It's like the most intense he's ever looked. But like that one detail just kind of rubs it the wrong way for me.
Yeah. So this box art, I stared at it a lot. This is my favorite game. It's like, I don't know, I really love the framing of it. There's something about having Spyro in the middle and then like the 4 critters off to the side. Just that, like that circle kind of framing with the logo right there. And the logo's not like, you know, being intrusive. It kind of rounds out the circle.
Exactly. I like how it still manages to carry that fiery theme, because it still has some intense yellows, reds, oranges. I mean, that is fire encompassing the subtitle. Having Year of the Dragon itself being a more white kind of text makes it stand out more. Plus, if you look past the blue of, you know, any kind of heat with a little flame, white is the hottest you can really go with fire in that sense. So it kind of makes it feel, you know, it kind of, I don't know, it completes that fiery look. It makes it feel like the outer edge has your nice, you know, colorful reds and yellows, and then there's a more hotter white core with the text, I guess.
Yeah, and then like, you know, all the character renders look really good. What the hell is like with Bentley's foot? Like his weird toes. I just noticed that right now. It looks weird.
He's gonna stomp on Age of 9.
He is. But yeah, everything looks good. I don't even know what the background is. To be honest, I'm not sure what that background is.
A
It's
red,
a weird color
yellow
too,
blur.
but it looks nice.
The thing too that I think is really interesting is that, and this is bizarre as well as interesting at the same time as being interesting, like everyone has already had their final looks basically from the get-go. Sergeant Bird just changes on the fucking flip of a dime. Like sometimes he's
Right.
got this early look where he's got this gradient to his chest and a more silver helmet, and then his final look he doesn't have that gradient chest, and his helmet looks like a typical army green helmet.
Yeah.
But they flip-flop a lot, and actually there's an in-game model of that look in the cutscene when you first see him, when he's being held captive by the sorceress. Plus, we'll see later that this look is also used both for concept art and in-game with Hero's Tale.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it looked like a Hero's Tale.
It's very strange.
But yeah, I think this is really good art. Definitely not perfect. I really like the logo, like the dragon symbol in the back of the logo.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of Chinese-esque themes, more, I guess, Oriental themes with this one. Plus, it happened to fall in the actual year of the dragon, right? 2000?
Yes.
So that was pretty cool. And now we get to the Insomniac's magnum opus. This is the best fucking thing. You can't tell me that this is not the best artwork you've ever fucking seen.
Bentley Space.
What the fuck is that render?
Why did they choose that one?
Well, who modeled that? That's what I want to know.
Right, who modeled it and who chose it? Or who said, yeah, just slap that on a box. That'll be great.
Yeah, he looks brain dead. Kind of
Nothing-
contradicts his actual personality in game.
Everything I like about the American box art, this one just shits all over it.
Pretty much. I have to ask again, where are we? It's just blue.
It's just blue. I know, you're right.
But where are we? There's no place that looks like this in the game, as far as I can
Could have
remember.
been like the skate park. If it, like, the render of Spyro on the skateboard, like that render itself is fine. I do not like how it's obscuring the dragon logo.
I would, yes.
I
exactly.
do not like that. Why would they do that? No. You show off that nice logo. You do not cover it. Just like, nope, right over the face. No.
Exactly. Like, I mean, you could have put the logo over Spyro, and you still see him on the board. I mean, you don't see him, his claw grabbing the board, but like, yeah, don't cover up the logo like that. I mean, that's there for a reason. It's not like just a background element. It's part of the logo. You can't just
The renders are just
it.
like, they're just placed on. They're just placed on. They're like...
No, they
like-
really are. Why is Sergeant Bird about to sit on Agent 9? What is with the Agent 9 hate?
First he's gonna get stepped on by Bentley, then he's gonna get bombed.
Bentley's gonna
Sergeant
hold him
Bird.
down with his gross foot as Sergeant Bird takes a shit on him. What's happening?
And I guess, they felt the need to add Sparks in here, which is fine. But more importantly, they took out Sheila, cause like, screw her, I guess.
We couldn't find a place for her on the cover. It's not good. Everything's just tacked. It's like something a fucking 12-year-old just getting into like Photoshop would be able to do in like maybe 2 minutes. It doesn't look professional. It's very
Look
silly.
what I made.
Exactly. There was no thought put into this. I don't know what that background is. Not that it's any better than the American one, because the colors might be fine, but where the hell are we? Again, also in the American art, like I don't. As we'll see in everything Year of the Dragon related, there is no location. These characters are just in fucking colorful limbo.
It's true. Like,
Which-
that's something we could say about any of them. Like, where are we?
It's kind of a downer because, I mean, even as cluttered as 2 was with the Japanese art, it's still Avalar. Or even with the background being no discernible place with the American box art, it's still nice to look at because there's this, I was gonna say texture, there's more of a design in the background. It's fire, it looks really cool. It highlights Spyro. Something I didn't mention, or I forgot to mention, was that the flames are actually brighter when they're right behind Spyro, so they outline him, which is really cool. There's something to look at, even if it's just fire, but it's got a nice design to it. Here, it's just some weird, flashy, purgatory-esque void.
Yeah. With the white airbrushing thing in the middle.
Yeah. Not a fan.
No.
Bentley looks stupid.
Reignited box art.
Okay, so I think it seems they gave room for the characters to breathe, but they didn't do the thing that the European, or even Reignited for that matter, versions of the Spyro 1 box art did, and they didn't kind of segregate them. I know they wanted to keep them together because, hey, these are the characters you're playing as, but like...
Right. Now it just looks like they're all kind of squished in.
Yes, and again, we've got Sheila just kind of being kind of obscured there. Um,
Yeah.
you see the less she's seen. You see the least of her. I don't know how to word that, but she's being obscured the most. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Um, the logo's fine. It looks basically the same. You know, not really changed up. Um, Bentley's design's cool. You know, he looks cool and not like a dummy dum dum.
Yeah.
They got Sergeant Bird's design right.
They all look
Um,
good.
yeah, I mean they look like the way they do in game basically.
Yeah.
You kind of
I
see the
mean,
this.
there's
Good.
not there's not really much to say about it except for I guess they got the Spyro pose like right. They got it looking a little better and not so much like the way that we described it, where it looks more like he's actually running.
Yeah. I mean, to a degree, you can still cut him out, and he looks like he's standing in a really weird way on his hind legs, like he's upright. But um, even though those are his front legs, but I think the colors are a little more. I mean, okay. This weird fiery again void. I don't know why we can't use locations anymore now, but it makes the characters pop out more, and they're kind of highlighted with this more flashiness in the background to them, like the lights hitting
Yeah.
them from behind. But there was something about that red going into yellow. I mean, here it's
Now
just
it
kind
looks
of
like they're
like
running away from an explosion.
sort of, yeah. But to where? I don't know. Where's the floor? I don't know. Um, it's it just looks again like it somewhat reeks of the European artwork where they just kind of went, here's a background, here's some flashiness to it, um, and then here's the character slapped on top.
Yeah.
And Spyro glowing more than the others, again, helps to obscure the others kind of, and Sheila's getting the most of it right there on the left hand side. So it's just in general kind of weird in that department. It
Yeah,
feels
he's
more like they're
glowing like
saying
he's some kind of dragon god.
it feels more like they're saying he's still the one, the main one, but these guys are here too, and it's I mean that's kind of true, but when you're trying to push, hey, we got no fucking background, but here are all these characters you can play as, they should all be seen as fucking clear as possible. And this
Yeah.
doesn't exactly do that.
For some reason, they look like they all look smaller. I think I don't know if it's because like they're all pushed back because they gave it more room, but they all look smaller.
Yeah, I think so. And just with the fact that it doesn't have no fucking PlayStation 1 sticker on the just fucking covering blanketing the left side of this picture there,
Yeah.
because I think that was the thing too. This is promo art. What we had in the original was the cover art. So like
Yeah.
they had to make sure everyone was seen, but still get the ESRB rating in there, get the PlayStation thing, get all the company logos in there. So those help to border this picture. But here you just have the background, the characters, the logo.
Yeah. Maybe if it was like actual box art or something, it would have looked different. But still, I was a little off.
It's okay, but it's still bizarre in its own weird little way.
Okay, Season of Ice.
It's good. I actually really look a location.
I know, right?
We're somewhere.
So I actually really love this cover. I love his pose. I think his pose is awesome.
I do like this one. This is one of the more dynamic poses we've seen him in. You can clearly tell he's gliding. He's not in like some weird, awkward running position or anything like that.
It always looked like, because like he's on top of like, is that like an ice castle, I guess?
Maybe.
Yeah, it always looked like, but if you like blur your vision a little bit, you can't tell. You can't tell like it's an ice castle. It's more like just kind of an ice structure. Because to me, it always looked like he was sliding down ice.
Yeah. Yeah, what I like is how we just have this whole elemental theme. It's seen all the way through from the background, the colors, the logo, everything just screams this blue and orange, very cold yet warm type of feel. You got that nice, like, afternoon kind of setting with the sky, which contrasts very heavily and very nicely with the ice structure that he's sliding on. The logo looks really, really cool, actually. It kind of seems to take inspiration from the Ripto's Rage, American, of course,
Yeah, I
logo.
love the logo with the Season of Ice, and it's all like cold and icy, like little sparkles.
What I like too is that it's so cold, it's like glowing, because you can see that the Spyro logo at the very bottom is glowing, I think, or it's being iced from the bottom, or
Yeah.
it's glowing like this kind of blue. Which actually I did not mention this. I forgot to mention this as I was looking straight at it from a couple of the Reignited stuff and OG Spyro, I think 2. Like the metal plating for the 2 in the back of the logo. In the original box art, like it was kind of glowing with the fire at the very bottom of it, and then I think where Year of the Dragon was resting at the bottom of Spyro's name, kind of like this one for Reignited, you could see that there was heat coming off it, so like it was kind of
Yeah.
it's cool. I like that detail a lot.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I've always liked this cover. I thought this is one of the better ones.
It doesn't have like a whole lot going on with it, but it gets
But it
across
stands
what's
out.
yeah
The
no no
colors are nice and it stands out.
yeah, it gets across what what it's going for and stuff like that. I have not played any of these. I've only played one that we'll get to later. These mainline Spyro, I say mainline, but these Game Boy games I actually haven't really played, so I should get on that.
Yeah, I didn't really play a lot of this. I mean, this is the one, like, of all the handheld games, this is the one I played the most of, but I didn't get very far.
Why do you think they felt the need to like? I'm just out of curiosity, not like I'm critiquing it necessarily. In that fiery background in the logo, highlight the little Spyro scales on the S with that fire. You see how it just goes poof, off to the left?
I don't know, but I think it looks cool.
It does look cool. It's just a really weird little decision. But yeah, I mean, with all the particles coming down on Season of Ice, it looks good. I approve.
Yeah. Okay, and here is the Japanese cover of Season of Ice, also known as Spyro Advance.
Okay.
Look at this anime.
Oh my god. Okay, so you did show me a glimpse of this before. And I wish it was like completely blind for this right here because I would have lost my shit even more. But every time I see this I go, "Oh my god." Like where do we start with this?
Look at Spyro. Look at Spyro. He's got like anime hair.
He
Like
does.
it's like one of them is like, one of the little spikes or spines or is like drooping down in front of his eye.
Oh no, they're trying to do the sexy thing with him. Where the hair goes in front of one eye.
God.
I don't know. Let's see. Zoe's in the background.
Zoe is lifting her leg and you can see up her dress.
That I don't know. The legs are nice, but everything else I don't know. Where
Do
are
they
we?
think that Zoe is supposed to be the sexy character?
I don't know. There was some early design of her in the Hero's Tale manual. I looked at that and I went, "Whoa, she's cute though." So maybe they started to turn her into that slowly. I think I don't know. Here's another location. It's quite clear. I just don't know where it is because again I haven't played this game. Do you happen to know like where this setting is?
No.
Okay. Sparks looks cute. I like the way he looks.
Yeah, he looks awesome. I like how Hunter and Bianca are in the background running like a anime intro pose.
Oh, is that what's going on? Here, I'm gonna get close to the
Yeah,
mic
they're
real quick.
totally
I'm
like
trying to see.
they're totally in the background like running. Here, let me
Blow that up a little bit.
yeah. Never mind, I can't.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, I mean, I'll see it as I'm editing this, but like This is amazing. It doesn't get the theme along nearly as well as the American one does. This is just a very interesting specimen of a box art because I've never seen. First off, I've never seen this artwork straight up before for Spyro. This is amazing. This is weird. I don't. I don't know. It's like what was funny was that with the Spyro 2 Japanese box art, it was all of the background was like hand drawn and stuff, and it was all 2D. But all the models, the 3D renders, were just kind of placed in there. I guess this is what the result would be. The answer to the question, oh, what would an entire Spyro Japanese artwork look like with everything hand drawn, and in the Japanese, fully in the Japanese style, and we get anime Spyro. And this is amazing.
Also, what is up with Spyro's foot on his front right leg? Why is it twisting in that way?
I don't know, maybe he's changing directions because you need to get his good side.
It just looks like awkward. It's like at a weird angle.
It's his card throwing hand. His blue eye summoning hand.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's kind of actually, this is like what I was saying earlier with the American one, keeping up the tradition of putting him in a weird running pose. I was saying that like the other box arts for the original 3 games did, and like, yeah, in anime 2D form, here it is once again returning in full force.
Oh my god. Well, they still got the nice logo going though.
That is true. They did return to just Japaneseifying the American logo. It's very digestible. You can digestive. I don't know. You can see it very clearly. It's all good. The colors are not clashing and looking all weird and whatnot. It's very much like the Japanese Spyro 1 box art, and I definitely approve.
But it's like it makes less sense in this situation because it's just called Spyro Advance. Like,
yeah,
the icy thing doesn't have anything to do with it in this case.
Again, that's just them trying to keep the theme within the logo, since, again, it's not really being portrayed in the artwork. But I suppose they just called it Spyro Advance because of the fact it was the first Game Boy Spyro game. So you can't exactly fault them for that, but on the other side of the coin, you kind of can, because the theme is just not there in the logo. Rather, the text. The logo itself, design-wise, that's the only thing that represents what the game's about, roughly.
Right. Okay, and then we got Season of Flame.
I always saw this one, I think, on the back of, like, Crash, Huge Adventure, or I think it was in Trance. It was probably Huge Adventure. I like this one.
The weird thing is it's called Spyro 2 Season of Flame. Like, what's with the 2?
Yeah, that's the weird thing. Crash also did this with his Game Boy games. Crash Entrance is called Crash 2 Entrance, but the 2 was, like, so far back in there that you could, like, almost barely notice it. Except for the European box art, where they just straight up put the 2 in the logo, so it's literally called Crash Bandicoot 2 Entranced. So because this is the direct sequel, they wanted to make it known, this was their weird way of making it known that these two are directly connected. So it just kind of hangs there like the Gateway to Glimmer logo. But it's reversed.
Right. I like how the logo is kind of like reversed, how the ice is like on top and the fire's on the bottom.
Yeah. Glowing once again, too.
I was going to say that. Right, but another thing I was going to say, his pose is more generic on this box art. I'm not like a huge fan of that, like, pose, I guess, as compared to the other one. Like, it's a fine pose, but as compared to the other one, it's not, like, as dynamic. But something I love about it is that his claw is on the Universal Interactive logo.
Yeah. Is there any kind of artwork that doesn't have the Universal logo on the little thing? And, like, what is he actually resting his paw on? Isn't it, like, a rock or something?
That's what it probably is.
In terms of the pose, for me, I like it because it's just a very, like... First off, it's quite iconic now with some of the Reignited merch using it, some of the shirts and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I think as far as the tame poses go of him just standing there, he looks cool. You know, he still has that attitude. His wings are out. At least they're not, like, tucked in. And he doesn't look too just okay, I'm standing here. You know, like, there's a little bit of a stance within his, a little bit of a of attitude within his stance there. So is it just me, or are his yellow scales? And I think this happened on another box art too, and I didn't point it out. Are the yellow ones going fully all the way down his back, down to his tail? That's what it looks like right here. That's
Yes.
not. That's somewhat off model because they end up going down into like less spiny looking purple scales, and that is a little off model there, I think.
Which you can still see. You can still see the little purple scales right there, but like the yellow spines are like, going over it.
That's very strange. But as far as like Post-Insomniac character renders go, like this is up there as classic Spyro. This is a natural like next gen at the time upgrade over all those PS1 renders. This is like a very well recognizable look for him.
Yeah. I remember I didn't even know this game existed for a while.
The thing, okay, so like I said, now we're in locations. We're gonna start seeing more locations in these box arts, which is awesome. It might look a bit generic. I mean, you got a sky, you have this like little frozen wasteland. That volcano is pretty badass. I mean, the fact that it's going from like the lava's pouring into the cracks and going seeping through, so like now it's about fire and like it's coming out in the background. Something about that's actually really cool. Nothing looks intrusive or like covered up fully. Like you can see the volcano, everything. There's no real negative space going on. There might have been if you didn't have the smoke coming out of the volcano, but I don't know. It might be a bit generic by today's standards. I mean, it pretty much is, but something about it is still like pretty cool. Like at the very least, you could say it's like passable.
No, I still like it. I just said like Spyro's pose in comparison to Season of Ice was a little bit more generic.
Mm-hmm.
But that's, other than that, I like it.
That's pretty good.
This, to my knowledge, is the PAL box art.
Yes. It looks...
But I cannot confirm that.
Well, it looks like a fan mock-up, and that's where I was like... It kind of derailed us for a minute trying to look this up. I was like, hold on, is this real? Because, like, it's just... it's just him and we're back to the void. I didn't know this. I was like, oh, I guess we're back into the void again. At least it's a purple-white gradient, but, something about the European box arts, whenever they involve a fucking number, or they're like, okay, blow that motherfucker up, put him, just slap him right on to the tail end of the Spyro name, and there it is. They did the same thing, like Gateway to Glimmer.
Yeah. So, I guess the logo doesn't look bad. It looks okay, I guess. And I'm not completely opposed to, like, characters' faces, like, taking up the whole, cover, as we'll see later. I'm not completely opposed to that, but there's something that bugs me about this particular model, and it's his teeth. I don't know what about it looks wrong, but something about his tooth, or just like his teeth, his mouth, something about it looks wrong.
Well, first off, he has a tiny mouth, to the Tasmanian tiger. Second off, he has a fucking...
He does. He has a side mouth.
Yeah, a side mouth. He has a fucking Dracula fang coming out. Like, what's the deal with that?
I don't think that's the problem. It's just something about it looks really weird. Like it's modeled weird.
I think it just looks like a big fucking vampire fang. Yeah, so this is where we have a bit of a difference of opinion, like finally.
His nostrils look like little flaps.
They always have, which I think is really funny. And when that one on the run
More
model...
so here.
Yeah, they do. And when that one on the run model came out for Crash on the Run, that's one of the first things people were like, what happened to his nostrils? Like, they're all like in his snout now. They're not like above, dangling on top of his snout.
Right, they're regular.
Therefore, that makes it weird. Yeah, this is where like the difference of opinion, a slight, mind you, difference of opinion comes in. I don't really care for this close-up. it's very. This is generic. Talk about generic. Like, I don't think you can get any more. Like, okay, we're gonna slap a simple, not even like a flashy, weird, airbrushed, whatever design in the back. Just a background. There's a gradient. Slap Spyro, just blow him up, and just slap him on the box. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. There's not much.
I mean, it doesn't look good. I'm not gonna say it looks good, but I'm not completely opposed to having a character's face on box.
No, because you know what? Do you know what? Yeah, but do you know what it reminds me of? Now that I
What?
think about it, those fucking re-releases of all the
Of
DreamWorks.
DVDs where they just slap the character's face on it. Yeah, I hate that. I honestly hate how they're doing that because that just looks generic. But like on video games, sometimes it looks okay.
Yeah, no, I don't know. That's the feeling I get from this, and I fucking hate it because I love the original designs or like cases for like Shrek and Toy Story and all that. Now they just have them all fucking. Here's a close up of Buzz, Toy Story 2. Here's a close up of Shrek.
I like
1.
how they always choose a close up of a character that's not even like prominent in the movie or something.
Yeah, like I think Donkey represents like Shrek the Third or some shit. And it's like, all right, well, whatever.
Okay.
I don't like. I heavily dislike those. Or what they'll also do for like the Avengers ones, they'll have like all the characters fully posed and whatnot, but then it's just a generic like gold background or red background with the logo slapped on, and it's like that doesn't. What? If you're gonna re-release these and whatever the case, why would you do this? What it? I don't like it. It's so
Hey
generic.
man, I'd be completely okay with the re-release of Age of Ultron that was just Ultron's face on it.
Of course. You love your big robot man. This is just that's the feeling I get with this one in particular, and also one we'll be seeing in just a minute, so like I'm not much of a fan.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
There's not much to critique.
Okay. This is the American release of Spyro Enter the Dragonfly, and I like this box art, and I always have. I don't know why. There's something about it that just screams Spyro's on the PS2, and Ripto looks horrible.
So I guess between the time of the last game and its generic box art and this one, not only did we get more generic by having not even like a colorful background, just a gray background for what little we could see of it, and they blew Spyro up even more. Apparently he became Shang Tsung in between games, and now he's soul sucked Ripto into his eye.
Yeah. Oh my god, Ripto's model looks horrifying.
He's screaming in agony and pain. This
Isn't that the same model? That's not even like Ripto's render for this game
No, it's not.
necessarily. Like, no, that's his. Is that his model from the Spyro 2 disc? On
I don't.
the PAL disc. I was looking at the discs earlier today, and they actually look better than the box art. Which is weird because, like, oh, okay, PAL chose the wrong images to put on the disc and the box art.
I don't know. All I know is that he looks like he's in just never-ending, agonizing pain. Spyro's
The gray
happy with
background, though, is fucking stupid. Like, why is it gray? Why can't it be, like, blue or something?
I said you couldn't get more bland with the European Season of Flame. Apparently you can, because I think what they just did was they were modeling, like finishing up Spyro's model, posed him in their fucking program with the gray background, and then just screenshotted that, zoomed in real
I
close,
want to know what the rest
and
of this
bam.
looks like. What does, like, the rest of this image look like?
I don't know if there is one. I've never seen it. Yeah, if there was an actual pose that Spyro's doing, I don't know what it is. This, as we'll see with both versions of this game's artwork and all that, like, now we're starting to get into this little small era, just real quick, of these couple games, where we're not exactly sticking to the theme that the game's titled after, what the
Yeah.
logo looks like. I like the logo. I actually love this Enter the Dragonfly logo.
Yeah,
It's
the
so
logo
good.
looks awesome. I love
It-
the double dragons on it.
Yes, it's very reminiscent of Spyro 3. It looks really good. I love that little, like, gong-looking thing in the background. It's all detailed and everything.
Yeah,
It,
they're really trying to get our attention with how cool the logo looks.
it is good. It's right there, smack dab on Spyro's forehead. It looks really nice. I just hate the fact that they didn't... I said they did. They could have done the freaking Spyro 3 European box art in, like, 2 minutes. This was done in, like, probably, what, 12 seconds?
Probably. No, they probably spent more time just like, trying to pose it correctly, like trying to place it correctly on the box art. Like, where exactly should it go? And they spent way more time than they should have.
Not much else to say. It's just Spyro's big ass face. Recto screaming for help.
It's fine though, because you know what? If you blur your vision, like, immediately this is Spyro because of the colors.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. You got your reds, your golds, your purples. Obviously, like fucking 90% of this is purple, because it's mostly Spyro's face. I mean, it's harmless. It's just so bland, to me, in my opinion.
That's fair.
Okay.
And this is the PAL one. This is, like, slightly better because it's not zoomed in as much.
Yeah, we have...
I don't think this is bad.
We have a background again, somewhat. It's at least another gradient.
I think he could have been placed slightly more, like, downward, because for some reason, it just looks like he's bald, and that logo is just slapped on his bald head.
He looks, the way he's coming out at an angle, because we know what kind of direct pose this is and how he is positioned. First off, the fucking flaring nostrils is badass. I love it.
Yeah.
But the way he's positioned here at an angle looks like he's peeping out real quick into frame, like, hey, what's up? How's it going?
Yeah, right. He's just like, hey, how's it going, guys? Like, I'm badass, flaring nostrils. Like, he could have been centered a little more.
Yeah, no more Ripto. You have a lot of negative space that is barely covered by the Universal logo in the bottom right.
Right, because if that UI logo wasn't there, there'd be negative space, and nobody likes that. I know, I sure don't.
I mean, really, if you just kind of put more smoke to cover that part up from coming out of his nostril, that would have been fine, I suppose.
Or at least put Ripto there.
Somehow. Again, screaming for... Yeah, Mike Wazowski him with the fucking Universal logo. Slap it over his dumb face.
That would be funny.
Take the screenshot everyone gets of him from the intro of him just laughing and his mouth just opens hella wide, and then put the Universal logo in his mouth, and it'd be really funny.
I would love it if that exact image was on this box. Nobody would buy the game.
Because of that, specifically that.
Actually, people might buy the game just because they're curious on what the hell that was.
But yeah, I think, actually, I'm going to save this thought. If you can you please find that promo art real quick? Okay.
Oh, that looks really good. I like this.
Why couldn't this be the box art? What
This
the
should have been the
fuck?
cover. You're right. This is actually perfect. It's aligned, like, well, almost perfectly at the top. I was thinking, like, wow, is that aligned perfectly with how that is? But yeah, you're right. This looks
is so good.
awesome.
I love this. It's an image similar to this, if not this exact one, was, I think, on the back, again, of another Crash instruction manual. But, like, this is perfect. You have a location. It looks nice. The sky looks great. The colors are amazing. You get Spyro's full badass flaming nostril flare of total rejection pose going on here.
Of total rejection. I would have preferred if Sparks wasn't there, though, because that's, like, is that a render from another game? I don't remember.
I don't know, but
Probably.
I mean, shouldn't Sparks be there to,
Well,
reflect
yeah,
the
but
theme?
like for some reason, I feel like he it's like unbalanced because he's there.
Well, if they put him in another position... So here's the thing. It's just Spyro. And all of these, besides Ripto being sucked into his eye, it's just Spyro. And the reason why is because I'm sure they were just straight up not confident in putting in the other renders of the other characters, because, number one, a lot of them barely have any time in this game because it was so rushed, like Hunter or Bianca or even Moneybags. They all actually Hunter makes the most appearances, but Bianca's only there for like a little bit. You only see Moneybags once, also because their renders don't look very good. So like, as we all know, they look horrendous actually. So like,
Pretty much everybody looks bad except for Spyro. He's the only one who looks all right.
I think they were the most confident in going, oh hey, we made some badass Spyro renders, but like we don't have time for renders for anyone else. The models we can't use because they look horrendous. I would love to have seen like in the background over there, way off in the distance, like Bianca or Hunter, or the other dragonflies to again really accentuate that theme. But this right here could have been a freaking amazing art cover.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't go with this.
Yeah, but then it would have prompted more people to buy it, and then more people would have realized how shitty the game is.
I mean, when I was a kid, I didn't care. Also, I didn't really know what a bad game was yet. All I knew was it was Spyro, and I said, I'm playing that shit, and then I played it. And sure, I recognized it was a bit different. It ran a little bit funkier than the other ones. I didn't care when I was like, what, 7?
I didn't realize that it ran funky. I realized that it had a ton of glitches, and I was like, this is not good. Am I going crazy? Are there, like, why does my game keep glitching like this? And then everyone was like, no, my game doesn't do that. And I was like, okay, I must be crazy. And then later it was just like, hey, this is a game that glitches a lot and is bad. And I'm like, okay, I wasn't crazy.
I mean, I had no concept of like glitches in games at this time, so I was just like, it never really caught my attention that stuff like that was really happening. I just knew it was Spyro. All I knew was it played a bit slower because of how much it chugs. But back on track here, this would have been perfect, in my opinion. I mean, it looks nice, it looks good. We have a location again, even if you don't know it's Dragonfly Dojo until you actually play the game. But it would entice you. It shouts Spyro. This shouts. I think to me, this artwork, this promo art, shouts Spyro on PS2.
Yeah.
Or next gen consoles.
Yeah, this absolutely does.
Big wasted opportunity, missed opportunity rather.
Yeah, totally. Okay, Attack of the Rhinox.
I remember seeing this one.
Just look at the full one.
And being like, I don't know what this is about. I guess Rhinox.
I didn't know this game existed for the longest time until I just randomly saw it in the store. I'm like, oh, look at that. It's another Spyro game I didn't know about, and then I didn't get it.
And then you proceeded to not buy it. Well, I mean, Activision, have you bought this? Have you bought the property early? Are we in Call of Duty? It's a fucking battlefield going on right now.
Exactly.
What is happening here? Spyro's in a fucking
I really like
war.
Spyro's pose. I think he looks really cute. I like that. All the Rhinox look like Norks for some reason.
Yeah, that's weird.
And I don't know what to make of the logo.
I like the logo. I like the little parchment. I like how like fantasy it
The
feels.
scroll.
The scroll,
Yeah.
Do you search for treasure in this game? I mean, usually they
No idea.
they reserve scrolls and parchment in titles like this when they want to drive the fantasy theme in. When it's like pirate themed or like treasure themed.
You're like searching for hearts of the lands or something. You gotta get like a special item from each land.
That's fucking weird. I do like Spyro's like looking back at you pose like, oh, look at this shit. What the fuck's happening?
It's like, yeah, what?
Oh god.
What's happening?
See that fire on the right side? I started that.
I started that. It was me.
It screams fantasy. I actually like that. Again, we've got a good, nice location here, even if it's, again, a little on that vague side. It's not like you can necessarily tell where he is, but it looks cool,
It's funny because looking at this, I would think this is some kind of like strategy RPG or something.
It kind of shouts that a little bit.
But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, I can't really see what they're doing too well, but it looks like a fucking war zone.
Yeah. I like how the Rhinox are kind of like going off to the side here, like of the Game Boy Advance bar, And
Yeah.
they're kind of like overlapping it.
Yeah, games did do that every so often. They're like, hey, look, we're dynamic.
Whoa, Spyro Adventure. Hold on, is this the PAL version?
Is it? It seems as such. Why the fuck is it called Spyro Adventure?
I don't know.
Hey, all my
real.
people in Europe, do y'all not know how to fucking title Spyro games?
Yeah, I don't. Spyro
No, this is
Adventure.
real. This one's real.
Yeah, it's real.
So they
What,
blew up the...
is that Rhinoc just dead in the front there?
Oh, of
Just
course
dead.
he is.
How
Of
did
course.
how did I not notice that?
That mofo dead. So they remember in Korra when like she's in the spirit world and when she has to get somewhere they just woof as she's standing still and she just whooshes to her destination?
Yeah.
They did that with Spyro a little bit. He's kind of pulled up a bit more, so it's zoomed in a bit, and that's just the image I got.
Yeah.
That's the image I got in my head of him just going and just kind of zoomed in a bit more. He's closer to the chaos unfolding before him. Not that he minds, he's looking right at us. You can barely see that smoke now, just peeking out of the right-hand side.
Everything is closer.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, Spyro Adventure. Like...
That sounds like a mobile game.
It does. Yes. Yes. Oh my god, it does. That it sounds so generic. Like, I don't. Yeah, and they could have blown up the logo a bit. It's a little too small, I think. Just a little bit more, not like a whole lot. Not too different otherwise, really. It just looks like they were repositioning things, kind of like with the OG Spyro 1 European art. They kind of just, it's the same thing, they just kind of reworked it, made it look a little bit more colorful.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
Interesting, though.
What are your thoughts on Spyro Adventure?
I mean, I didn't even know this existed until, like, right now when I saw it. Well, I mean, it doesn't really look any different, except everything is zoomed in. Maybe Adventure fits more with, like, the map logo.
I suppose, but it doesn't lend to, like, what Spyro's doing there, or, like, what's happening. I mean, at least Attack of the Rhinox...
he's having an adventure, but he always is.
That's true. That's what I'm saying. It's too vague. It's like the Japanese Spyro 2 logo, where it's like going through portals. Like, well, yeah, he does it all the time. That doesn't lend to what he's doing here. Why he's
going
here.
through portals. Yeah.
I mean,
I like how that's like the pretty much our interpretation of the title, going through portals.
I mean, at least with Crash, you know, for Game Boy, it was the huge adventure, and you've got, like, this big-ass Cortex looming over Crash, so you get what's happening. Even with the European one, XS, like, it's a weird, again, kind of generic title for it, but extra small. You understand what that means. You can still see Cortex looming in the background, all huge and shit. So the theme is still there. You can still get that context of what's going on. But here, Spyro Adventure, okay... he's in front of a bunch of Rhinocs. That's about it. I mean...
Yep. I mean, I don't really have much to say about it. I like Spyro's pose, and that's about it.
Yeah. Oh, yes!
Spyro Orange. I didn't really... what year did this come out? Because I wasn't quite sure.
Like,
I wanted to go in order, but I wasn't sure when this came out.
Probably about 03, maybe?
Okay, that makes sense, because that's when Attack of the Rhinox came out, so... Anyway, Spyro Orange, Cortex Conspiracy. I like how he's charging through crates.
I
That
love
looks pretty
that.
cool.
That is, like, the best fucking thing. Like, you don't even understand. When this crossover happened, I lost my shit. Like, I was all for this. I remember the commercials on TV. The little fucking cards... you would get when you get like certain. I mean, they're doing stuff like that. They were doing the codes for CTR Nitrofield with I think it was the Sour Patch Kids or whatever. Here, is it Sour Patch Kids? Did I say that right? Am I thinking of the right thing? Okay, because for some reason I was thinking of Cabbage. Okay, that's where I got it mixed up. Anyway, sorry. But they did that a similar thing with this crossover for promotional stuff. They would be like, "Oh, buy fruit by the foot," or like gummy things, and you would get like little cards, like you do in the game. And I only ever managed to get a Cortex one. But anyway, the thing here that I
I
love,
didn't know that.
it was awesome. It was radical. They fucking advertised the fuck out of this, and I loved it. Yes, Spyro Orange. We've got a ton of orange. You got the little featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series right there for Crash. Crates, for Crash Purple, it's like he's spinning through gems, but here it's letting you know that they're crossing worlds. The Cortex conspiracy, the fact that it's again another nice little thing going on with the logo, but it's all like this orange fur, and that's super cool. Like for the Crash logo, it's like purple scales. Fur. I love it so much. Like how you said before that with Spyro 3, you would stare at that artwork all the time. I would stare at this all the time. And I just loved how cool. I mean, talk about dynamic, badass poses. Again, he's even more pissed. He's barreling through. He's got his more smoke than ever coming out of his nostrils. He's as they say, all fired up.
Yeah. I never had these games. I never played them.
I remember seeing gameplay screenshots from the other games we just went over, like Season of Ice and Flame, and those looked so weird to me because they were isometric. They reminded me more of like Rayman Hoodlum's Revenge, which is technically the sequel to Hoodlum Havoc. Again, weird Game Boy title with this isometric angle, but this was like a 2D side scroller, and I thought that fits Spyro much more. I don't know why the other games didn't do it this way. It is a bit generic because it's more of a minigames game than a platforming adventure, but there are still platforming elements in there. I like the 2D thing better than I think the isometric way they did it with the previous Game Boy games. But this background looks amazing. Again, Crash crates that Spyro's just barreling through. There's like an explosion going on behind him. What the hell is he doing? Did he blow up the Wumpa Islands?
I don't know.
I dig it. It was just, there was so much energy behind this era
I really like
right
the
here.
colors, though.
It's good. I mean, I don't know if I don't think purple and orange are direct complementary colors, but they do so well together. And orange, some slight variants of orange, are incorporated into Spyro's design already as it is. So I mean, it's good colors, good theming. I dig it.
Yeah, it looks good. And now here is
What the fuck is that?
the Japanese one.
Really? I need a wait. I need. Whoa.
I can't find a good. I can't find a larger image.
That might be the only one they have. Oh my god. Okay. The Return of Anime Spyro.
So this is Spyro Advance Exciting Friends Big Mission. I'm pretty sure that's what it says.
Okay. Why do they continue to draw him like this? Why does he look like a dinosaur?
He does look like a dinosaur.
He looks like fucking a little raptor or something.
He looks like... I know he does! He looks like a raptor. And he's still got the anime hair. And then you got the Japanese Crash there.
He's flaming Japanese Crash.
I know.
He's gonna fucking murder him.
You can't stand him. Taking a spotlight.
You saw the part where they were throwing Molotovs at each other? Molotov cocktails?
Yeah, my favorite part.
Oh my god. So
Why
I guess...
Why is Spyro in the logo? Why is that in blue?
Is it blue? Oh shit, it is. Did
Like,
they finally...
I mean, he kind of looks blue too a little bit, but like he's like bluish purple. You can't really tell, but that is definitely in blue in the logo.
Did they finally realize that in Japan the color purple can signify death, so they changed his fucking color to like a
They finally realized it.
generic blue? I mean, they did it with Rayman. His body is not purple in the Japanese versions of his games. They're all blue.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, so the Are his wings? Is this a clever coloring trick, or is it a miscoloration completely of his wings, looking like a bit translucent, like the sun's hidden them, like the way you can see a little bit through your fingers, kind of, you know? Is it?
Yeah.
Because they look really yellow here for some reason.
His wings are like colored the opposite of how they should be.
Yeah, that's very strange. His hair just looking like fucking cloud strife. Where are they? I mean, it's cool that he's like gliding, but is it just some field? Is it supposed to be Wumpa Island? Like, I don't know where he is.
I don't know. Because I don't know where this game takes place or like anything about it. Why does he have so many teeth? That's what scares me. He looks scary.
He looks creepy with his mouth. And this mouth for him looks terrifying. Well, like I was saying, since it's crossing over worlds, he goes to the Wumpa Islands and Crash goes to the Dragon Realms. So, it just looks like fields he's going through. He's gliding past. I don't really know where he is, and you can't tell.
He's like going through Legend of Zelda. Like, what's happening?
Yeah, so you can't really tell because the logo's covering it up, and you could have made the logo a bit smaller, I guess. Yeah, this is weird. I don't know what to think about this one. I'm not much of a fan of these. I mean, why didn't they just kind of do this natural progression off of the fucking OG 1 or 2 Spyro renders? Or do it like a little... I know there's different teams and whatnot, but it's like... You could pull inspiration. I mean, look at Crash. It looks the same. It's the same Japanese Crash from, like, the OG Night Dog games.
They never really figured out, like, how to make Spyro look in Japan. They never figured out, like, a proper, like, consistent look.
I mean, I think they nailed it on the head with the OG one. I don't know why, like I was saying, I don't know why they didn't just, like, do a 2D hand-drawn version of that.
Yeah. And then suddenly they're just like, yeah, anime.
Fucking Barney with a katana.
That'd be awesome.
As an epic fucking I love you, you love me remix plays in Japanese. Then it goes da 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 da.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's strange. I don't know what to think of this. I still think ours gets the point across a lot more. Everything's less intrusive. Because I think this is a weird example of where, because the American one works so well, with everything going on, like the logo being as big as it is and prominent, and the fact that you don't have much of like a background, but with what you do have, it definitely conveys what's going on with the theme of this crossover. Having the crates, and he's busting through them, and you've got your featuring Crash right there, you've got the big ass logo above it. Having a lack of a very detailed background actually works for the whole piece. Here, they're trying to do a Spyro 2 thing where they have this sprawling land that you can see Spyro going through, but this is having the opposite problem of Spyro 2, in my opinion, where it's just cluttered. You can see all this stuff happening around him, but here, the way it's framed, he's
can't see enough.
He's taking up like the 50% of. It's like in a diagonal pattern. If you cut this diagonally, he's taking up that 50% of the screen of the box art, and the rest of it is Crash, the logo, which is covering the entirety of the land, so you don't know where he is in that sense, and it's just very, very weird the way they composed it.
Going back to how Spyro looks, it's funny how it like goes against everything that we usually know about Japanese box art compared to American box art. Cause like, you know how on American box art it's usually like the character is like, you know, really mean looking and just like, ugh, yeah, I'm cool. And then on the Japanese one, it's like, yeah, everything's nice and happy. It's like, why does he look super scary though? Why does he look mean with his, like, giant teeth and giant claws? Like, what are you doing?
Well, remember what Hunter said. They have claws like this and teeth like this, and they spit fire like that.
Spit fire like this. Puh, puh, right at Crash. Right in his face.
Right at Bandicoots.
Hunter was right. Hunter was just describing Japanese Spyro this whole time.
He's seen him in another life.
He saw him in his nightmares.
Spyro came to him in dreams.
He was telling tricks to him in dreams.
Spitting fire at him in small spurts. Woof, woof. What the hell is? What is this? Next
I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
Next.
We're just stealing jokes from other people. Okay.
Oh yes.
All right, Hero's Tale.
Oh my god.
So this looks like a movie poster, and it's awesome.
Do you know why that is?
It's because it was like, because it was probably like painted by some dude.
I'm glad you said some dude so I can educate you. This was in fact done by Drew Struzan.
Yeah, that guy. See, when I said
fucker.
some dude, I was thinking of that guy, but I didn't know his name.
No, I needed to double check this, so before we recorded this, I looked it up, and I was like, oh shit, it really was him. So, all you out there who know the fucking iconic Star Wars posters and covers, Harry Potter, like the first two, Indiana Jones, Back to the Future, yeah, it's same guy, did this one too, and it screams that. It screams it because of how the characters are positioned and posed. I love it so much. It's super, super cool.
The only thing I don't like is how, I don't like where Blink is placed. He looks like, what is he standing on? Like,
yeah, this both harkens back to, and somewhat lesser so, but still somewhat suffers from the Spyro 3 problem, where they're not, I mean, they're in a void kind of, but you do have a location. You have some, like, generic Hogwarts-ass castle in the background. But, yeah, they look like they're in a void. We don't know what Blink is standing on. I love how just prominent and fucking dead-ass serious Spyro looks. It's really cool. They finally figured out how to, like, really pose Spyro and how to, like, you know, position him and make him look. You have Sergeant Bird, Hunter, just everyone you get to play as, once again, like with Spyro 3. Sparks chilling out, looking all happy and whatnot. You got the purple and gold again, colorization coming back. Looks real, real nice.
the logo's really cool too. I like the shield with a little gem in it.
Yeah, I love that logo. And I think that gem's supposed to be a dark gem, because it's purple, but it's got little, like a little texture on it, like little designs in it. So I think it's supposed to be a dark gem.
Also, it's like, is that a castle in the back? Like, what's the castle?
That's what I was saying. It looks like some generic Hogwarts-ass castle. I don't know if
are they going to Hogwarts? What's happening?
I don't know if Red has a castle. I don't know if Spyro's a first year. I'm not really sure what's going on here. But just how everyone's positioned. I think also the way Hunter's bow kind of like, in its natural arcing way, like it kind of like rounds out that part on the bottom right. So it kind of feels tight-knit, but not as cluttered as like OG Spyro 3's kind of looked. Or no, Reignited Spyro 3 artwork kind of looked, because you had a lot more space in that one, so but they still kind of were huddled together. Here, it all just seems to work with how they're layered.
I like how Sergeant Bird, like the stream of his jetpack is like curving along with the bow.
Yeah, no, it all flows together. It's real nice. He really thought of how to position everything, how the colors and the sparks and not sparks, the sparks and the like particles and stuff are all supposed to go.
Sparks looks crazy. He's just like, ah.
His eyes look a little too, no pun intended, kind of bug-eyed, but like, I like the way he looks. He looks nice. This redesign frame was a little strange at first, but I warmed up to it pretty quickly, because they changed like the shape of his head a lot, gave him a more rounded out head.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
But with the way it's positioned, no one character is, I mean, Hunter's technically in front, but no one is necessarily obscuring one another. Like with Spyro 3, Spyro was fucking prominent with a godly ass, you know, with lighting behind him that was obscuring everyone else, ironically. But no, here it's like really balanced, and it's just a really nice piece to look at.
Yeah, it's like this cover is mostly perfect with the exception of Blink standing on nothing.
Blink's pose too, I thought was always funny because it looks like he's just like, "Hey, welcome."
It looks like he's just in a T pose, and they just placed him there.
Half a T pose. He's like, "Welcome to my castle."
It's his castle.
It's his.
Can we talk about how much I don't like this because I always thought Spyro looked hella fat?
He doesn't look fat to me. He just looks like in an oddly human position.
Right, no, but he's like, no, he
Like a
looks
superhero.
so, for some reason he looks so chunky, like his proportions are off.
I don't know. He doesn't look too chunky to me.
I don't know, something about the proportions are off. Maybe it's just the way his, like, arms are positioned.
Well, do you think it's probably because we're seeing his full underbelly for like the first time in a pose like this?
Maybe. Why? Can his arms even move like that? Why is he... You're right, he's just in a weird human-like position.
He always looked like, I mean, right here it looks like when he lands from wherever the fuck he's gliding, that he'll just land on his hind legs and, again, be upright and look really weird.
Why does he look like that?
I don't know.
Oh my god. Something about it is really weird.
I don't know if an animal with his kind of limbs and whatnot, like his skeletal structure, could actually bend their front paws like their front legs like that. I'm not too sure.
He looks very... What's the word? Like, stocky.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a very weird pose that was, like, unique to this game because I've never seen it anywhere else.
I don't know. I've never liked this. I like the background. Like, I like the sparkles and, like, the color of the background. That's fine.
Is it sparkles?
The logo's weird, but...
I thought those were, like, stars. I thought he was, like, gliding through the night.
Yeah, well, it's more like they're just sparkling around him. Like, because if they were stars, they'd be kind of everywhere, but you can see they stop.
At certain, oh god, you're right. Well, oh man, you just ruined that for me. I thought that was like a night sky it was going through. I was like, oh, I guess that's. Since
no,
I
it's
first
just like
saw it.
some kind of blue background, and he's just like radiating a godly glow.
Of course, except this time again, it's just him on the fucking art. Like, yeah, that logo's very weird. That like fucking, what is that? Like some kind of weird circular like Aurora Borealis ass thing going on?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
No, it looks like the swords are revealing light.
Oh my god, you're right. It looks exactly like that.
More Yu-Gi-Oh references, but I mean, no, it really does.
Yes.
I like how, because typically you would use this for a fantasy, again, ish type of thing, but the font for Shadow Legacy just, I think because Shadow Legacy is so small, it's hard to read it from an angle or from a distance like this. I don't know about that font choice for it being so small like that. It makes it really hard to read.
Yeah. Can't really see what it says. Like, yeah, it's not a very good font choice, and it's very small, and it's just something about this cover's very weird. Like, this screams weird, and like the game itself, it is a weird experience, and which I've never experienced before because I've never played it, but I've seen some of it. I've seen other people play it, and I'm just like, what the hell? What is this?
It's very enigmatic. I have no idea what this game is about. All I know is that it borrows a few elements from Hero's Tale. So this is like a semi-quote-unquote sequel to it. As far as I've heard, I have never seen much of this game. Of course, never played it. It radiates some type of energy. What that is, that's up to your interpretation. Because I couldn't tell you what the fuck. It's not bad. I don't think I would call it necessarily, like, amazing either, because, again, it's just doing shit that other box arts have done and just placing them in a fucking background. But,
it's
like,
some kind of weird experimental, like, phase of Spyro.
it really was, before the true shit started to go down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know how to feel about this one.
I don't know.
But this was kept the same between the two versions, though, right?
Yeah, there's no different version of this.
Okay.
It just looks wrong. Something about it looks wrong.
I don't know if that means that the European team finally fucking gave up, and just went, give us yours. That's fine. We won't meddle with this much. Or I guess they just wanted to unify it across all versions, all regions. But yeah.
Yeah. As far as I know, nothing has changed. Like, from the box arts for, like, A Hero's Tale in this.
Yeah.
Alright. Here's Spyro Fusion, because we didn't talk about it last time.
Yeah. Yeah, we forgot. Oh, my headphones are falling off. Okay. I kind of wanted to bring this up because when we ended our last little part, I was like, oh, wait a minute. We didn't talk about the European version of Spyro Orange. And it's a half and half for me, this one. Most of the the European Spyro covers have been getting a lot of heavy criticism from us, and like this one's half and half because it is like the exact same artwork and models and stuff. Well, sort of. We'll get there. Yeah, what kills it is the fact that they called it Spyro Fusion, and good job using a Wrath of Cortex render for Crash there, guys.
Right, and to an extent, Crash Fusion, which is your...
Oh yeah, Crash Fusion. I think that one was kept like the exact same across both the American and European versions. But for Spyro Fusion, they kind of like rode that wave of what fucking renders should we portray Crash with? Because here is his Wrath of Cortex render, whereas it was an early, mind you, Twinsanity render in the the US version. But because Twinsanity was being done around the time that Nitro Kart and this game were being made, because with Nitro Kart, there was the whole thing about Nina making an appearance there, but then that was scrapped. She makes an appearance in these games, or I think more heavily in this one, actually. I think more heavily in this one, if I remember right.
Right. That was her first appearance, right?
Yes, which pissed off Traveler's Tales because Oxford, because they were wanting to introduce her properly in Twinsanity. That was her second game. That was her first major like playable appearance, but people often forget that her debut was in this game.
Well, I mean, if people forget, then why would it piss anyone off? It's like everyone's gonna forget this anyway, so...
Well, no. It pissed the Twinsanity devs off because they didn't give the okay for them to use her stuff. I don't know how Vivi and them got a hold of this, of those early Twinsanity assets, but like I'm saying, in Crash Purple, on the cover, and the little featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series on the US version, it's his Twinsanity render before Twinsanity was even like, I think properly revealed, or maybe it was like just barely revealed. I don't even know how the timeline crosses right there.
But I'm saying it worked out for them anyway because nobody cares about these games.
Well, I care anyway. But so like you could argue the Wrath of Cortex render, using that is more accurate, quote unquote, to the in-game sprites, which were ripped off of the old, like Crash 2 and 3. Because in Crash Purple, he looks and plays the exact same as he does in his Game Boy games, which again are sprites that were taken off the models of Crash 2 and 3. So Wrath of Cortex fits more into that more classic Naughty Dog-ish look for him. But then you look at the cutscenes in Crash Purple, and those I think use his his Nitro Kart render, which is the first actual game that made his like fur go like from his muzzle to his chest down his body. So his portrayal is all over the place in these games, which is really funny. But I think the Twinsanity render fit more in line with the in-game cutscene version of Crash that they were showing off in Crash Purple, and here too in Spyro Orange. But okay, yeah, European guys, like I was saying, why is it so hard for you to name Spyro games? Because Spyro Fusion,
European guys,
there's always a weird naming issue with the European PAL versions. I have no clue why. When they have to... because some games aren't renamed. Like they didn't rename Enter the Dragonfly, but they renamed this one, and Ripto's Rage. Like I don't understand it. But and Spyro Fusion, first off, is a very boring sounding subtitle, but it makes it sound like you're Frankenstein stitching Crash and Spyro together, and it's like not a fun fucking. There's,
it's not a fun image.
No, and you're on Google Images right now. I'll throw up a couple of these ones that I'm seeing right now. They're just fan renders, but it's like, or fan artwork, but like, that's what I'm thinking of when I think of the fucking subtitle Fusion. Yeah. Ripto's Rampage, the Cortex Conspiracy. Like, first off, you've got that alliteration keeping up from a couple other past Spyro games, and they sound cooler. Fusion is too boring, like Crash XS or Spyro Adventure from Attack of the Rhinox.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's really weird. I mean, like, the weird thing is, like, they're separately called Spyro Fusion and Crash Fusion. It's like, it would be Spyro Crash Fusion, like, as a pack. Like one of these. Like, the Super Pack, you could call that Fusion.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that would have worked way better.
But because they're named that way separately, it sounds really weird.
Yeah. I don't know. Those other than that, the rest of it is like the exact same at least, so that's good.
Yeah. There's not much to talk about.
Yeah, just feel like I want to throw that in real quick.
Okay.
Yes. It's finally time.
No. Oh my god. Alright, listen, guys. I don't like the Legend series. I'm not a fan of it. I just don't really like it. It didn't appeal to me.
Boo.
I'm sorry, it did not appeal to me. I didn't really care that they were going for it's a darker story. I don't want that. I want fun.
Well, it's not like Spyro's bleeding out, dying on the street. Like, there's still wacky little goofy moments in there.
I know, but it's just like, and this is the comic relief. Like, no, we didn't have that because like Spyro didn't need that. It's like the comic relief is Hunter, but like it wasn't in your face like it is here. It's like Sparks is the comic relief because he's voiced by a comedian. Like,
Chalk that up to just tropes. They were like, we'll do that. They probably shouldn't have done that. I don't know. In terms of like the artwork here, though, like the one thing I thought was always really cool was how they like use this like silver steel outlining for Spyro now, and then like they tweak the little scale dealios and the tip of the tail so it more matches his design here. That lightning is really fun. Him just standing in this lightning firestorm is like really badass for some. He's doing some weird little, again, human-like pose, but like.
Yeah, I don't like the pose. Also, he looks real fat. Like, and his mouth is like stupid and squiggly, but like. Stupid. I don't like his head shape. I don't know. I think he looks dumb. He looks dumb. The lightning itself looks fine, I guess, but he looks dumb.
This is where I was saying before, I think way back in, what was it, like part 1 or something, where I was like, okay, guys, there are moments where if you frame him in just the quote-unquote right way, he kind of looks a bit bald, and here, right. What they did with his redesign is they segmented his little scale head spikies, so they're individual now, and now he looks really bald. I think his head's a little too round, it's a little too bulbous from the top.
Yeah, and there's like, it's shiny, so he looks even more bald.
I mean, apart from I think it's also too because his horns are now kind of more angled back. They kind of like curl backward instead of like.
Yeah, I never liked that either.
I don't have like the hugest problem with it. At least he's still like the right colors and everything.
Colors are fine. Yeah, I just don't like the way he looks on here. It's just, I don't know, it looks weird. Just his model in general, I don't like, but, what do you think of the logo? Because the logo I actually like.
No, yeah, like I was saying, rebranding or rather retooling the look of the Spyro font, or rather, just the way it looks, putting that like outline in there and all that. I like how Legend and New Beginning, all that stuff, like that's all like a nice gold. It's very warm, very kind of welcoming into this new like rebooted world.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we have another kind of void again. He's just in this black dimension, but like what's cool
Yeah.
is that it stands out. Just this brightness of the more center of the piece kind of makes it kind of it all kind of blends, or rather it what am I looking for, the description, like it kind of fades that blackness away, so you don't really pay attention to it too much. It's just enough where like sure there's probably like a little bit of negative space right there off to the right, but the company logos and the rating and stuff are all on the bottom, so there's not a whole lot that's like just left empty there. The emptiness on the top where the black void is where the it occupies the logo, and it kind of looks like
Yeah.
he's like taking the full like force of like a blast, and it's like dividing through him. It looks really
Right.
cool.
Also, are these like his legs? Like in you can sort of see a silhouette. Like what's going on here?
I don't know. I just thought they would just fizzle out his legs, so that way it didn't really matter because you're just looking at him from like the chest up.
I don't know. For some reason, it looks like a silhouette of his legs, and they look like really oddly shaped.
I don't think so. I think it's just part of the electricity-ness, or else he'd have very, very short legs.
Yeah, but that goes with his model being weird anyway. So
I think it's harmless. So,
sure.
I mean,
His wings look like they're coming out of his neck.
well, it's very bright behind him. You're barely catching like what little you can see of his wings from behind him because they're like in the blast.
Sure.
I mean, it kind of falls in line with some of the other box arts where it's just a void. So it's like, it's like to be expected at this point.
So
Yay.
now we have the opposite problem. What is with the skinny neck?
This one was always really weird. There's the skinny neck, the big bulging eye. He looks more bald here than ever just because it's
Yeah.
a straight profile shot of him now.
Also, the glowing moon is like illuminating him in a way where it's like he has a white outline.
Yeah.
So his spines are like separated from his head.
That's what it looks like, yeah. Speaking of his spines, I see they've kept that going all the way down his body. I said way back earlier that I thought it was off model for like the PS2 era for them to have, because it wasn't in the first game at all. Having the little yellow spiny scales go all the way down his back to his tail, but the more I was looking and editing the other parts and seeing all these other box arts, that's a detail they've kept since the second game. So like, and even through here in the reboot. So like, that's an L for me, I guess.
This model is really weird. Like, his render here is really weird because it's not what he looks like in game. He looks the same as in the first one, but the thing that's wrong here is like, well, I think his neck is way too thin and twig-like. He's puffing out his chest. That looks weird. His wings might be too big. His horns are too small.
I think they're trying to make him look a little bit older because I don't remember if there was even like a small time skip between the first two games. I don't think so. But this one was hand-drawn. And I think the other one that we'll be seeing in a minute is too. These ones were hand-drawn. The first one with New Beginning was done with the models and everything. But here, this one was hand-drawn, because there's a lot of hand-drawn art in Legend of Spyro. So this one, they were trying to go for this just kind of like, always epic, and it's meant to look all cool, and the moon behind him. And he looks a little off-model. Again, the big eye, the really round head. If you take his snout and his eye just kind of away,
Right.
and kind of fade
His
those out of
bulbous
the
head.
You just see how they just drew a like perfect circle and then drew the neck going down and like really accentuated his chest and everything, and then drew in his like snout and all
Look at
that.
this.
Um,
That one looks slightly better, I guess. I don't know.
oh,
It's the same
here's
thing, but
this is the full art right here. Um,
the
I
body
kind of
doesn't look bad. It's his head. It's just the head that looks weird.
yeah, I kind of. I mean, geez, he did not skip leg day. Look at his fucking thighs. Holy
I know.
shit. You could see like how they drew it. It was just a bunch of circles. I think it's meant for him to look soft, yet the more prominent features of him that are what you're used to attack and all that, aka his horns and all that. You can see like his tail and his wings are kind of more angular. They're pointy, so it gives him the edge while keeping him still kind of innocent for right now, anyway. But it's just that big ass eye that looks really weird to me.
And his horns are too small.
I don't
Because
think
I'm looking at I'm comparing it to like here. Because see they're like, because you see how they're really thick like at the base here, and then they're just like really thin as like you go here. But look at how they're actually supposed to be.
I mean, yeah. I don't know what they're going for with that.
I don't know. It just looks really weird. And still got that squiggly mouth that I hate.
The little squiggly mouth. I forgot. Why do you hate the squiggly mouth again?
Because it looks dumb.
Okay.
It just
Simple
looks
as that.
ugly.
I mean, it's harmless.
It just looks ugly to me.
Okay.
Because they took a character I thought was really cute and made him really ugly in my eyes.
Yeah, I think they should have used that full body render in the artwork. It probably would have balanced out the weirdness of his head and that just front part of his body.
The logo doesn't look bad though. I like the silver.
Yeah, I like how it's silver now. It's kind of like a weird Harry Potter thing going on.
Yeah, where they each of the games has like a different color for the subtitle.
I like it. Theming. Okay, this one's fucking cool. I really
This
like
one
this
I
one.
like.
Yeah, because that's Cinder in it.
Well, yeah, because Cinder's in it, but also Spyro's posed fine. I actually like his model in this game, as where most people do not like it, because you know the art changed because there was a different studio or something like that. I don't know. I actually don't mind it. I think the squiggle mouth bothers me less in this, but also you can't see the squiggle mouth on this cover, because he's he's breathing fire and he's in a cool dynamic pose, and so is Cinder, and everything looks really cool. There's like there's a background, there's scenery, there's an action scene happening. It's not just like a character slapped onto a background.
Yeah, exactly. It's a scenario from the game for the most part.
Yeah.
I don't know what else. The colors are really good. I like how you still this far into the series, you get that purple-orange contrast. It's so good. The darkness of the land with the bluish, stormy-looking sky, and then like that just hopeful fucking like sunrise, sunset, whatever it is, that evening setting. The way they come together, it brings those familiar colors back. And having Cinder there and Spyro with his classic colors, like it all looks really good.
Yeah, and you get an idea of the different abilities and elemental breaths that you have. Spyro's got his fire. Cinder's is that poison? Green is poison, right?
I think so. I have to brush up on Cinder's powers. I don't remember. I like how they actually managed to portray the free flight.
Yeah, they do. That's a good thing they do.
It shows that it's the both of them that you get to play as. There's a lot here. The big points that they were trying to show off for this installment are like present on the box cover, and it's like so fucking good. How many times do you see this dude, by the way, that they're shooting at? Like, you see him a couple times, don't you?
Yeah, this is like the big like rock golem dude or something. It's like I don't even think you defeat him until like halfway through the game, maybe, or like almost halfway.
He's one of the first things you fight, like, at the start of the game.
Yeah,
so.
he's at the beginning, and then, like, he's going all the way into, like, the part in the big city, and then he's, like, destroying everything, and, you know, they have to... There's one part where you have to, like, fly up to him, and it's, like, really awkward because the free flight isn't very good, and so, like, you have to keep... It's like Shadow of the Colossus, but it's, like, awkward.
Oh boy. Yeah, mind you, this is the one I haven't played a lot of yet, but I will get to it because it wasn't until just recently, like a few months ago, that we finally, my brother and I finally beat Eternal Night. So we're trying to do it chronologically. Like, I've beaten fucking New Beginning multiple times, but it was really tough just because of how stupid they made the enemies in Eternal Night to beat that game even once, and now we're finally moving on to this one. So there's a lot that's going to be blind for me, believe it or not, for this installment.
Yeah.
But this is like one of the best Spyro covers yet. I don't have like any bad things to say about it, and I think this was across this in the European version. It was kept the same, yeah.
Yes. All of them for the Legend series were the same.
Cool. Absolutely no changes.
All right, here we go. Skylanders, Stealth Elf's Adventure featuring Spyro.
You heard it from her first, not from me. I wasn't going to say that. I was, but she said it first.
It's because I've said it before on Spyrocast, because I am so... God. I'm so angry at whoever thought it was a good idea. Let's not have Spyro in the middle, even though it's called Spyro's Adventure.
I mean,
why isn't he the center character?
You're talking.
Do you not know how to design covers?
I mean, you're talking to the fucking preacher back in the day, 2016 or so, of, you know, me going, Spyro, it's called Spyro's Adventure, and there's supposed to be a lot of Spyro, not references, but more so influence in Skylanders, but it's barely portrayed, it's barely conveyed. You can't fucking get a sense that this is supposed to be, that Spyro is the leader of the Skylanders and that he's the main one, because he's treated just about as hugely as like anyone, importantly rather, as anyone else.
Like a generic Skylander, just like everybody else.
Yes, exactly. And everyone was fighting me on that. And I'm like, no, if you're a fucking fan, I was gonna say, if you played the game, well, if you're a fan, you have. It's fun when you are like in the catacombs, which is like out of like the middle, coming towards the end of the game, and you find his soul gem. Like, that's when you know that Spyro is not the focus of this video game series much at all. Barely by the end of its run, the 6th game, Imaginators, is when they started to finally kind of give him the spotlight. And it's like, oh my god. Okay, for this artwork though, you get your colorful characters. You get Spyro, even if he's not in the middle, as he should be. You can see the elements, which are really cool, that they're like kind of, you know, bordering the bottom of the logo. I don't have a problem with the way the logo looks or anything like that. It's big. It's really nice. It's like, bam, characters you can play as. It's just...
I don't even have a problem with Skylanders. I just really don't like how Spyro's not the focus.
Spyro not being the focus, and what they did was design, because I still hate that design. That will never change. And all that stuff is what made me go, okay, if none of that, if either they went about this the way they did with Crash, where they gave him so many props in his inclusion, or this just wasn't about Spyro at all, then I wouldn't have a problem with Skylanders. It could be its little fucking kid game that I wouldn't give a shit about, but like, the fact they tied one of my fucking childhood characters into this franchise, and then just proceeded to kind of shit on him a little bit at the start there, that is when I went, okay, what? Like, really?
I know. I mean, well, that's how I, you know, got into it, wanted to play it, because I was just like, whoa, Spyro's coming back and he's in a thing, and I'm just like, I don't know what this is, but okay. And then, like, I got it, and then I played it a little, and then my PS3 is dumb, and it decided it's like I'm gonna not work very well, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. And so I didn't really get that far, and then it was just like it was okay. It's not even like really. It's not really that fun. Like, but it's
The first game's
whatever.
Bad. You're not missing out on it. Just watch the playthrough on Vid Games FTW. Like, I'm not plugging. I'm just saying. I'm telling you more so than
I played a little bit of Giants, and that was kind of the same. And I liked SWAT Force. I never had it, but I played a little of it, and I liked the mechanic, the swapping thing. I thought that was cool.
The one thing I thought was kind of cool, because I had to confirm for, I think it was part 3 of the Comeback Saga on my channel, talked about Crash and Spyro's revivals. I had to go through and watch. I literally watched all the cutscenes and stuff through all the Skylanders games just to make sure that I'm not overstepping anything by saying, yeah, that Skylanders doesn't really, push Spyro as the focal point, as the front center, as they should have. And that does kind of ring true if you watch the cutscenes, try to get a sense of each game's story. But, like, one of the things that was really cool, I think, in Trap Team, has nothing to do with Spyro, I just thought it was cool. Here, guys, now I'm giving props to Skylanders, is how they do the whole, was it Traptanium thing or whatever? The little trap crystals.
I never got to play Trap Team, but I always wanted to, because I want to play as Chaos. I was like, what? I want to play as him.
There's a cool part in the story, because this series, with how kid-like it is, and how fucking preschooler cartoon it can get sometimes, like, oh, you're joining us on this adventure, and they play that shit up throughout the whole fucking franchise. But in Trap Team, it was kind of cool, because they did a little twist where Chaos is supposed to be talking directly to you, so they released around that time a new Portal of Power that had a speaker in it. So you're watching the cutscene, and he's talking in the cutscene, but you don't hear his voice in the cutscene. You hear it through the portal. So he's talking directly to you, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then he's all like, watch as I make your controller vibrate. And then your controller vibrates, and it's like, oh, no, my God, what's he doing to my fucking video game?
My God,
it's kind of cool.
That's funny.
It's a cool little fourth wall break. I played throughout the entirety. I beat Imaginators, and I like I said, I am glad that they eventually fucking woke up and went, oh, hey, maybe Spyro should, like, fucking be the leader. But, like, that late into it, I think people stopped caring. But it was cool to see him, like, interact with Crash and his little Thumpa Wumpa Islands part, and to see him pop up, throughout the majority of the cutscenes. So, like, the story is about a small group of Skylanders, which is what I thought they were going to go with as early as this game, and it never really felt like that. So that's what threw it off for me. I was like, well, then what the fuck? And then, like, the show, Skylanders Academy, has your group of ragtag Skylander heroes, and, like, that's
why can't that just be this game?
That's what I wanted from the games.
Just have the same plot as Academy.
Exactly. They thought about it way too late, and I know that was a whole other team and all that, but still, that concept was thought up all too late, and now it doesn't matter because at the time of this video anyway, Skylanders just still really isn't around, besides, like, the mobile game, Ring of Heroes, which barely, it's like, okay, if you want your Skylanders fixed nowadays, that's pretty much all you have to go off of if you don't play these games, still to this day. Don't expect anything new anytime soon.
I keep hearing there's going to be new stuff, but, like, I haven't,
But to the mobile game?
It's just from fans.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know.
People are always saying, like, oh, there might be some things soon, and I'm like, okay, but you don't actually really hear anything, and even so, it's really just for Ring of Heroes.
Yeah. I mean, they can't do a 7th game the way they did the rest of the mainline console games, because with the way we're living right now and all that, you can't exactly just go, even if you're vaccinated, you can't just go bum rush the fucking stores to go grab these new figures. They're not going to sell them like that the same way again. So I have no idea how they're going to do a 7th, but we'll see.
Yeah.
That thing is fucking heinous. Invades my nightmares.
It looks, well, the eyes are, like, painted on pretty derpily.
No, he looks like that in the game too.
Yeah, it kind of does. I don't know. I kind of just like the thing about Spyro's design in this game. I was just like, I didn't hate it immediately like other people. I was just kind of like, like I saw it and I was like, that's not. I don't know about that.
It turned me off
But I
quite
didn't go
fast.
like, this is the worst Spyro thing that's ever happened. Like you know, I think I thought Legend's design was uglier, but even so, I didn't even say that about Legend. I didn't say that was the worst thing that ever happened.
Well, I don't think I
was
said
just
it was
like,
the worst. I think I was just like, that looks ugly. It doesn't look like a good design.
I mean, it's definitely not pretty, but
I mean, the same way that people didn't like Young Conqueror, or the way people shit on the fucking Titans and Wonder Mutant designs, which aren't that bad. Okay. If we're gonna keep critiquing the box art or whatever, at least in terms of the way he looks, his fucking, because you did it with Legend. His snout is way too damn small. His eyes are
Right.
really grossly big. His grin looks scary. He's got a weird dumb unibrow now. He looks like a fucking gremlin.
yeah, that's what people call like Goblin Spyro, Gremlin Spyro.
Yeah, they like over accentuated his fangs, and he just looks like a fucking. He looks like Gilgrunt right there. It's like a fucking sea creature. Take his wings away, and don't tell me he looks like some fucking Nessie ripoff.
Well, but the thing is, I like sea creatures though, so it's not even that bad. Like,
He looks like an ugly sea creature.
well, yeah, it's an ugly sea creature. Like in this shot right here, I think Gilgrunt looks cuter. And I'm not even a fan of Underbites, but I think his looks kind of cute.
Because he looks like he has a fish head.
Yeah, well, I like fish.
He looks like his head is like literally a fish just plopped on a body.
Yeah, I like fish head people.
I like fish.
I don't know. I like the characters of Skylanders more than like I do actually playing
Well,
the game.
Stealth Elf is hella cute. I really like her, and certain other characters are really cool. A lot of them are like ugh, but are equally as ugh to me as Spyro is, but some are really cool.
I like Freeze Blade, the ice Sly Cooper.
Welcome to the Skylanders part of the.
I know.
Video.
Hold on. Actually, I just want to look him up.
Are we
quick,
using
because
this or are we using this? I'm not sure.
Sure, just put it in here. I'm very sorry. I just want to show everybody this. Just
Here's
because, like, hey,
Ice Sly
look at
Cooper.
him. Freeze Blade's cool. Anyway, this is the only Swap Force figure I have, just
never
because
se-
I like him as a character.
I've never seen him before. That's interesting.
Anyway. All right. What can I say about this that I haven't before?
It all culminates to this. Spyro's magnum opus. For real this time.
For real this time, exactly. I don't know. This is really, really good. I really love this artwork.
It's
Even
amazing.
the one that's just for the box itself, the one that's, in like that. It's not the full thing. I even like that because it's just, it's awesome. Like it portrays all three games in a really good way, and it has, the different colors to differentiate from each game. It has all three major villains.
Yeah.
And for the full artwork, we see some of the most memorable enemies and areas from each game.
Yeah, I think it was a very cheeky move to use Skelos Badlands to portray Spyro 2, seeing as we really dove in headfirst and just beat the crap out of that Boxart, the European version, when we were critiquing
Well, yeah, but
it.
that's but the thing is,
It's
Skelos
a good
Badlands
level.
is the most memorable level
Yeah.
of Spyro 2, which is why they put it on the Gateway to Glimmer Boxart, probably. But
Well, like I mentioned before too, when we were talking about that, it might also come from the fact that it's what you see on the title screen too.
yeah,
So either way, it's a flagship level that just encompasses that portrays this is Spyro 2.
the only weird thing is that there's a dragon egg, like there's a baby dragon and an egg in Skelos Badlands here? What the hell's going on with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like a slight little like, oh, because we're just crossing them over. It's all three.
It's like
games
we
in
had to
one.
put them somewhere. Where are we gonna put them?
Yeah, they should have put them on top of the O.
Yeah.
I like how the double dragons are coming out of. They're like one's on one side of the logo and one's on the other.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So, that's supposed to be Fireworks Factory, right? Back there?
Yes.
The colors throw me off because obviously at Fireworks Factory it's nighttime.
Yeah.
So you never seen it in the day, and it's like, what? It's all blue and sunny.
I mean, it's cool that they fuse this all into like one, like, cohesive piece. Because you think of like Insane Trilogy, and it's segmented off of like a portal or whatever. It's like Crash is stepping on the portal, and then you've got like, bzoop, there's Crash 1, bzoop, there's Crash 2. It's the polar level, and then bzoop, you got Crash 3 or whatever, or something like that. That's kind of what they do, and it's like, okay, well, that's fine. But here, like, they managed to make it feel all like it's all part of one world, and just with each game you're going somewhere else, you know. So like, I think it's cool how they managed to show that.
Yeah, and it's segmented well because, like, you know, you don't have to have any like awkward cuts. It's just like Spyro himself is what breaks them apart.
Exactly.
Got his horns separate the middle part from the two other parts, and then, you know, got the two parts on the side separating by his face, his cute little face. Look at his model.
Yeah.
His render and model is so cute and reignited. It's the best Spyro model, the best Spyro design we have.
It looks really, really good. It with those little nice subtle differences, like just the detail and the little chips on the horns and his crest. Other than that, I mean, this truly is an updated version of the Insomniac era Spyro. Like, it's perfect.
Yeah.
The colors are just right. Everything looks... The one thing that I remember that threw me off a little bit when I first saw those, like, early promo images right before the trailer dropped, is that the only other difference color-wise is that the horns... And this you can see in other box arts and artwork in general, renders. Sometimes the horns can't decide whether or not they're supposed to be kind of like a more brownish beige, darker color, or about as yellow as his little hair scalies. Because here, and that's something that was in Skylanders too, so that's where I was like, okay, I see the Skylanders kind of reference there, influence there. Didn't turn me off, but I thought it was just kind of odd. Also too, because if you do the code in Reignited to get the classic retro Spyro skin, you can see that the horns are darker, so.
Yeah.
What would you do? What would you do if you zoomed in really close, really close into his mouth, and he had a very, very slight squiggle mouth?
Well, it depends, because if it was very slight and I didn't notice it, it'd be fine. But if it's like all throughout, then it looks really weird.
But like, unbeknownst to you, they never got rid of it.
If he had conductor mouth, it would be weird.
That's another good way of putting it. We should call that from now on, squiggly conductor mouth.
Conductor, but the conductor looks good because he's designed that way. Like,
you knew him as that from the start. Spyro never had that from the start. It just doesn't bother me because I don't care.
The conductor plant.
That's true. From Mystic Marsh.
But yeah, it's like, I don't know.
It's just really good.
Really good, and I love this box art, and I'm so glad this is what we actually got over the placeholder one.
The placeholder one's funny because I remember talking about it on one of my playthroughs on Vid Games with my friend Jeremiah, where you can tell for some of these remastered projects, for Insane, for Reignited, and for CTR Nitrofield, they took one level and made that the forefront of the marketing and all that, because for Crash, for Insane, it was, I think, it kind of varied. It was mainly Insanity Beach, but sometimes it was like something else, like a polar level or something. For Reignited, it was Wizard Peak, or not. It was Wizard Peak. It was sort of. It was
Magic
Magic
Crafters.
Crafters. Yeah, yeah. Because of the arcs and everything. And the cool thing, too, about it is that I went to E3 2018, so I was there on the show floor and I played Spyro, and it was really cool because they recreated the arcs, and you could go through them, and that's how you got into the Spyro booth, and it was so fucking cool. But yeah, everywhere in the in the promo art and all that, you see Magic Crafters very like primarily. I mean, which isn't too out of place for Reignited because again, Spyro 1's original title screen, he was in Magic Crafters, so
Yes.
it's not too out of place, which I thought was really funny. And for Nitro Field, it was Papu's Pyramid was showing off very heavily in the
Yeah.
promo art.
Yep. Which is really fun. Actually, now I think about that, it's really funny because we're talking about like, title screens. So in Spyro 2 was Skelos Badlands, and that's what's portrayed here. In Spyro 3 it was Fireworks Factory, and that's what's portrayed here. In Spyro 1 it was Magic Crafters, and Artisans is portrayed here. Like, what?
No, I was actually going to say, to bring it full circle, I think it was there to reference the OG box art instead of the title screen.
Yeah.
Because Artisans is where you start, it's a little more iconic, even though, again, they use Magic Crafters for the marketing, but Artisans is just so... I mean, talk about calling it a homeworld. It's so homely, it's so, like, iconic. That's where you
Right.
start. It's going to be very familiar right off the bat. Or, I mean, hell, they used Artisans for the Japanese box art, so...
Yeah.
I think we have a little bit of, like... I think we have a little bit of each... It really does come full circle, doesn't it? Each region. European is Spyro 2. Japanese, Artisan specifically for Spyro 1. And then American for the title screen, I guess. I mean, it might be... I mean, it's probably the same for each region in-game. But, like, Fireworks Factory for 3.
Yeah. Also, it kind of goes with the colors, Artisans, like green.
Green, red, blue, yeah. It's really
Red
good.
and blue.
I think it's only blue because for 3, for Fireworks Factory, because it's so far back in the distance.
Yeah. Plus the sky's blue, so like they'd have to... It would look weird if it was any other color. They'd
Yeah.
have to do some kind of contrast, so...
Because it's very lava-like as it is. It blended in too much with Skelos Badlands there. Oh, hey, look. The lava lizard actually looks good this time around.
Yeah, I know. Look at that awesome render. Lava lizard. Hey, you're right.
Yeah.
That actually looks really cool. I do like the way the lava lizards look.
They look really good in Reignited. No problems whatsoever. It's just perfect. I mean, you get gems. You got the 3 main villains. You got... I kind of wish there was a thief. Is there? No, that's a dragon, a crystal dragon in the background, behind Nasty. I thought that was a thief. I wish they kind of put a thief in there.
Oh,
but,
yeah. They should put a thief.
But I don't care that there isn't necessarily because I mean you got a portal, you got another portal, or at least it's the cave entrance over there in the mouth. You got the baby dragon. You've got
The thief should have been like on top of the castle.
That'd have been funny.
And okay, actually, because you're just like, oh, they got gems. The funny thing is, because yeah, they have the green, blue, and they got a red gem over there. Why isn't the red gem on the green side? Because why is it on the red side? That blends in too much. How about you move it over to the green side where it can actually stand out?
Yeah, I don't know. Got some blue gems. But where's the yellow and purple gem representation? You know what? This box art gets a 0 out of 10. Nah, fuck this box art. It gets a 0 out of 10.
No yellow and purple gems.
Nope.
And the red gem is on the wrong side?
You know, red and yellow, purple and yellow, which are Spyro's colors.
Yeah, that's true. And the red gem
guys,
is the
I'm
most
sorry.
delicious looking one.
That's what my friend Jeremiah said, so I gave him ring pops at the end of our playthrough.
I want ring pops!
Next time I go see you, I'll bring you ring pops. I forgot to do
Good.
that the last time we hang out.
I know.
We hung out, whatever. We hanged out.
That blue gem looks really good on the red side, though. It really stands out. That looks pretty delicious, too. Makes me thirsty for water. I need some water. Anyway.
I think we're good. I think we've done it.
yeah, I think we've talked about everything. We got
Whew.
let's see, we got the Spyro Fusion one, we got the Legend ones done, and the Skylanders, and now this. Yeah.
Wow. This was quite the journey. We've seen we laughed, we cried, we ranted a little bit here and there.
I think we ranted most in this one.
Yeah, probably.
I thought, well, probably for me, people are gonna hate me ranting in this one. It's just like, why
People
don't you
are ready.
like anything? It's like, I do. I just don't happen to like the stuff that I was shown here.
Look, there's some give and take. If you don't like Miharu's opinions on Legend, you can at least take solace in the fact that I like the trilogy, and I'm going to get into Dawn of the Dragon very soon. If you hate my opinions on Skylanders, at least take solace in the fact that Miharu doesn't care either way. There's little critiques she has here and there, but she doesn't hate it. Not that I necessarily even hate it, I just really dislike a lot of those choices that they made. It kind of panders to the kids a little too much.
And we even said really pointless things like, why is the red gem on the red side?
The series has a little bit of everything.
Anyway, yeah, that's gonna do it for our cover art commentary. That's what I decided to call it.
I like it.
Cover art commentary
Cack.
on Spyro the Dragon.
Cack!
Cack. This was, of course, a nod to the box art critique, which, if you have not seen, please go watch them. They're really funny.
Yes.
And,
I'll probably watch the Zelda one later today.
Yeah. We're probably gonna do more of these later. Sometime in the future. So if you would like to see us do more cover art commentary, let us know what series you'd like to see us cover, and leave that in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe for more casual gaming content, and I'll see you next time. Until then, this is Miharu, signing off.
And Mark, bye! Nailed it.